You are looking live at C.A. Douglas Field in the heart of Bobcat country. Tonight we feature a Class 7A Top 10 showdown. McGill is ranked number 6 in the state and riding a 30-game winning streak in region play. But Theodore has plans of their own, ranked number 9 and off to their best start since 2015 and a 5-game winning streak. The Bobcats are not exactly rolling out the red carpet tonight for the Yellow Jackets. You better put your helmet on and buckle up your chin strap because this will be an epic battle for first place in Region 1. Week 8 action starts now with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton along with Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines tonight, we have Corey LeBounty. We have Howard McCain. But Corey, we've got a big one tonight.
Yeah, it's that old saying, to be the man, you have to beat the man. And the man right now is McGill Tulin. They've won 30 consecutive region games, and that's what the Theodore Bobcats are trying to end tonight. They're trying to end that winning streak.
Right.
They're trying to become first place in this 7A Region 1. 7A Region 1 was compiled about 4 years ago, and McGill Tulin has been at the top of it, making 3 straight state championship appearances. Theodore's trying to show that they belong, not only that they belong, that they have an opportunity to win the whole thing tonight.
All right, Corey, let's get right to it. What's on your checklist tonight for the Theodore Bobcats?
When you look at the Theodore Bobcats, they must get ahead on first down offensively. They can't afford to be at second or third and long in tonight's contest. They must be spectacular on special teams. Theodore only has 1 loss on the season. That was to Daphne because they could not convert an extra point and they had poor field position the entire night. And they must prevent penalties. They don't want to give any free yardage to this McGill Tulin offense. And that's what it's going to take tonight for the Theodore Bobcats to win this game.
All right, on the flip side, you got McGill as the visiting team. What's on your checklist for the Yellow Jackets?
McGill Tulin has to swarm and stop the run. You look at the dynamic runners of the Theodore Bobcats and Jimmy Haywood and Devontae Washington. You're going to have to make sure you wrap those 2 fellows up and swarm to the football if you're the Yellow Jackets. You must protect this young quarterback tonight if you're McGill Tulin because Spencer Arsenault is getting the start tonight, the 6'1", 155-pound sophomore. You have to give him time in the pocket if he's going to be able to pass the ball in order to do so. And also, you must avoid McGill miscues. You cannot turn the football over and give this Bobcat team the ball on their side of the field.
All right, Corey, we appreciate that. That's the look at the checklist tonight. You know what? We're into a baseball playoffs right now, so Kimberly Dunn is taking the night off. We got our DH in the house tonight. Let's take it down to the field. My man, Howard McCain. What's up, Howard?
Hey, how you guys doing? Al, down here on the field conditions are ideal for a fantastic matchup tonight between Theodore and McGill Tulin. Field is a little wet, but I think it's going to be playable. The humidity around kickoff is going to be somewhere around 61%. So will that affect both teams' stamina? We'll see. But listen, one of the things that goes a long, long way in setting the atmosphere for a fantastic football game is music. Thanks to Mike Walters up in the press box, we were delighted to songs by artists such as YG, Drake and Lil Baby, and even Imagine Dragons. If it doesn't take those songs to get this crowd pumped and ready for this game, hey, nothing can. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Howard. You're right about that, man. It was definitely lit before the game, Corey. And you know what, speaking of lit, the standings right here in 7A Region 1 in our area, this is how tight this battle is tonight. It's that important. The only 2 undefeated teams in 7A Region 1, Theodore and McGill, as you can see right there.
Yeah, I mean, you're undefeated in region play. You have identical overall records. You have the loss that McGill Tulin suffered in Louisiana to West Monroe a few weeks back, but again, McGill Tulin's come out on fire. They've won several games. 44 of their last 48 games have been a W for the Yellow Jackets.
And speaking of winning, McGill has won the last 8 games against Theodore. So Theodore comes in here on an 8-game losing streak against these stingy Yellow Jackets. Corey, that's huge right there.
Yeah, you talked about if you love football, you better strap your chin strap on because Theodore's only giving up 5.5 points per game, and McGill's only giving up 9.5 points per game also. So it looks to be a defensive battle tonight. We'll see what offense can get it going and where the coaches are going to go as far as chess match-wise. As McGill-Tulane gets ready to run through their sign says Google at McGill-Tulane football.
I know, I love it.
Competition cannot be found. So it just goes to show the type of intensity that's going to go in this 100-yard football game tonight.
And Corey, we talked about the battle and what's at stake right now. Let's look at the impact players, the kids who are going to make the difference on the field. Who do you have for Theodore tonight as your 2 impact players?
Theodore Bobcats are going to really rely on Cameron Brown. It's a young man who plays senior strong safety. He's the X factor defensively for the Bobcats. And also quarterback Tyler Underwood. We'll see how he spins the pigskin tonight. For Theodore, he's going to have to be very effective and efficient with his throwing.
All right, on the flip side, McGill, who do you have as their impact players tonight, Corey?
A big guy up front. Matter of fact, he's 6'5", 300-pound senior who's verbally committed to the University of Tennessee. That's Ladarius Cox playing nose guard, and also the starting quarterback for the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets. Spencer Arsenault comes in tonight, taking over the reins for this Yellow Jacket team. It's going to be an outstanding contest tonight here in Theodore.
It really is. Theodore lining up to receive this kick here to start the ball game off. Beautiful night down here in Bobcat country. We'll let you know about weather conditions in a matter of moments. Doing the kicking for McGill will be Bay Cummings. There it is right there, 70 degrees, as Howard says, 61% humidity. Corey, absolutely, positively, no chance of rain tonight. Winds out of the northwest at 2 miles per hour. I cannot feel them, and the skies are absolutely clear. Beautiful shot of the moon behind us down here at C.A. Douglas Field, and we are moments away from Bay Cummings putting toe to leather for this battle for first place in 7A Region 1. Back to receive for the Bobcats, Hunter Tillman. He's their utility knife, and DeMoy Kennedy. And Bay Cummings lays into that one. Bringing it back is Tillman up to the 20. Crowd right behind him up to the 30. Still moving as the Yellow Jackets try to push him back, but I believe they're going to let him get up to the 31 with forward progress, Corey. So we'll get our first look at the Theodore offense coming onto the field, led by your impact player right there, Tyler Underwood. We'll try to get their starting lineup for you as the players switch out. There's a starting lineup for Theodore across the front, averaging 210 pounds on the offensive line. We just talked about Hunter Tillman. He's almost like their utility knife. The kid does everything for them. And also Zach Workman, keep your lookout for him. 2 rushing touchdowns. He's caught 4 touchdowns, and he averages 15.8 yards a catch. And your favorite guy, number 11, Jordan O'Neal in the slot. Got to look out for him. Big, tall receiver for the Bobcats.
Yeah, that's going to be the mismatch that I'm looking forward to seeing in the slot, what he's able to get accomplished.
Hand off to the big back, Jimmy Haywood. We know he's the workhorse for this Bobcat offense. That'll take the Theodore Bobcats to second down. Take a look at the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets defense, averaging 240 across the front. Make sure you keep your lookout for Chris Heights, inside linebacker, leads the team in tackles. Corey has 2 interceptions, 1.5 sacks. He's all over the field. And also Corian Wilson back there, cornerback, 2 picks for him. And Jaden Mosley, he's all over the field, 3 interceptions and 2 recovery of fumbles. So this Yellow Jacket defense, very stingy, ranked 5th in the state in 7A, only giving up 9.5 points a contest. Little quick pass out there to Traylon Martin. That's enough for the first down as he gets near the midfield stripe.
And Martin, the 5'10", 150-pound senior, comes in with 8 receptions, make that number 9 on the season, has 3 touchdowns. Again, he averages 15.5 yards per catch, but so far McGill-Tulane is on its heels defensively because they were able to run the ball on first down and have nice pass play there on second.
First attempt ball at the 47-yard line of Theodore. Men in motion for the Bobcats. They're going to hand this one off. Looks like Haywood up the middle, just past the midfield stripe. He picks up maybe 2 on that carry. He'll take Theodore to second down.
Yeah, that stop's going to be by the nose guard, Ladarius Cox, one of our impact players, and he's 300 pounds. He's able to plug up that middle, so you won't see Theodore try to run the ball between the guard and the tackle a lot tonight. They'll try to bounce it to the outside and try to utilize their speed.
Cox is a big boy. You're right about that Tennessee commit, man. I think we saw one of the recruiters for the school down here checking him out tonight.
Tracy Rocker on the sidelines watching him play.
Second down for the Bobcats, maybe 7. They may have given Haywood an extra yard. Bring in Devontae Washington. That's the 1-2 punch. That's the fumble. It pops out and looks like Tyler Underwood falls on it for the Bobcats. Maybe Washington was stripped on that carry.
He was, and then you look at who stripped that football away again, number 55, Cox. You look at the instant replay, and you must value that football, can't turn it over, stripped away, and it just took a fortuitous bounce. The quarterback, Underwood, was able to jump on it. Now it's going to create a situation where it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Bobcats.
Theodore looking for the flag. I thought maybe Cox had jumped off sides. Play clock approaching 10 seconds here. Underwood back in the pocket, has time, and he gets it across the middle. There he is, the utility knife. Hunter Tillman picks up the first down on a big game for Theodore with that pass, that pitch and catch.
Stopped by Sam Satterwhite, the 5'10", 165-pound senior. You look at the replay, Underwood with a clean pocket, drops back, finds his man Hunter Tillman, and that's just a great conversion on 3rd down and long. It's going to be one of those situations that drives defensive coordinator Alex Page crazy because you want to get off the field on 3rd down.
Yellow Jackets had him behind the sticks there and could not close. Theodore in McGill territory, approaching the red zone. Handoff once again to the back up the middle. Haywood with a nice carry there, maybe picks up 4. It'll take Theodore on to 2nd down.
Good stop by the Yellow Jackets on that running situation. Garrett Smith, the defensive end, 6'1", 185-pound senior on the stop. Going to bring up probably 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Bobcats.
Underwood taking his time here with the offense. Letting that clock be his ally. Fake that handoff to Haywood. Little screen they're trying to set up right there. And that goes nowhere. Zach Workman cannot weave his way out of trouble, Corey. He's going to maybe take a loss there of 1 or 2 yards for the Bobcats, take them 3rd down.
Workman tries to get back across the field. Carson McLean on the stop, the 6'1", 200-pound senior with a nice tackle on the play. But when you catch the football, you want to get up north and south. You don't want to go east and west. Workman is a young man who used to play for the Yellow Jackets, transferred, set out the first game. So this game means a lot to him also.
Sure does. 3rd down and about, we'll call it 7, a long 7 here for the Bobcats. That play took a little while to develop, Corey. Kind of reminded me of watching New York Giants last night. Their little flares out. They couldn't get out there quick enough. So we have a timeout right here on the field. Looks as if Theodore, Coach Eric Collier, is going to discuss this one. He's going to call an early timeout at 8:17. You talked about Theodore's defense, Corey, 5.5, a contest they're giving up. That's #1 in Class 7A in the entire state and 2nd in all classifications. Got to thank our folks over there at Future Ones. Future Ones taking care of us, got us looking good with the nice red polos tonight, Corey. It's a special occasion. We know it's Theodore, but it's also National Fire Prevention Week. So we got the red polos on courtesy of our folks over there at Future Ones.
Gus Smith and Trent Massey, innovative creators of the interchangeable practice jersey. Wear the future, Future Ones.
That's right, and as the graphic says right there, look, listen, and learn. And big ups to our folks over at Chick-fil-A. They're in the house with us as well tonight for this contest. Big battle of Theodore and McGill, Tool, and Corey. You couldn't ask for a better night for football, so we got Chick-fil-A in the house. I saw the little Chick-fil-A truck pulling up earlier. And there's a look at the pigskin right there, Corey.
And it's big-time pigskin being played tonight because, again, this means first place in the region. McGill Toolin's used to being in first place. Theodore is not, but you look at this crowd, they do have home field advantage with all these Bobcat Nation coming out. And, again, McGill Toolin got a scare a couple of weeks ago against MGM. They found a way to win in double overtime. So let's see right here what the Bobcats are going to come up with coming out of the timeout.
Haywood in the back foot right there. Tyler Underwood looking over to the sidelines with offensive coordinator Justin Ridgway. See what they've dialed up here. Big play for the Bobcats. Their opening drives as we started off. Low play action, and they've got your man wide open. Corey, he drops the ball. Jordan O'Neal had it in his hands, and could have walked into the end zone with literally one step. Incomplete.
Wonderful play action by quarterback Tyler Underwood. As we take a look at this replay, he drops back and throws a dime in stride. Was Jordan O'Neal. It hit him in the wrong place at that point in time. Those big old mittens couldn't squeeze the pigskin and make any bacon in that situation. So now, being where they are in field position wise, Theodore can either choose the quick kick and pin McGill Tulin deeper in their own territory, or go ahead and go for it, because being at the field position right at the 30 is not too shabby.
No need in punting right here. You're right about that. They have the offense and the firepower to get the first down, as you just saw. And Underwood just throws that one out of bounds, trying to get hooked up with Hunter Tillman. So it's ball over on downs. We'll get our first look at the McGill Tulin Yellow Jackets as they come out on the field, led by quarterback Spencer Arsenault, one of your impact players tonight for the McGill Tulin Yellow Jackets. We'll take a look at that starting lineup right now. Offensive line, big meat on the bone tonight, Corey, averaging 248 across the front. Big guys, Reese Pitts, C.J. Smith, also Patrick Siebert. But keep your eyes on number one, the receiver Dallas Daffin. He is Mr. Electric, averaging 17 yards an average on his catch, 4 touchdowns, and he also plays backup quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. Corey, that ball goes nowhere on that run by C.J. Evans. It's going to be second and about 11 for the Yellow Jackets. Here's a look at the Theodore Bobcat defense, averaging 211 across the front line. Very stingy defense. We just told you, number one in the state, Class 7A. This defense has 11 takeaways, 7 interceptions, and 4 recovered fumbles as well. Jeremiah Huster with 6 sacks, DeMore Kennedy with 4 sacks, and every cornerback, everyone in the secondary has an interception for this Theodore Bobcats defense, so they are quite lethal this season. Second down for the Yellow Jackets. Quick handoff to Evans there up the middle. Nice run from him. Keeps those legs going, Corey, maybe about 6 or 7. So he gets in front of the 6 for the Yellow Jackets. It'll be third and short for McGill.
Stop made by Colton Higgins. The 6'1", 194-pound senior has 33 tackles on the season. Make that number 34. Able to gain positive yards right here at third down and 3. It's going to be one in the trenches, Al. It's going to be interesting to see if McGill Tulin's offensive line is able to get that type of push that they would like here on third and short.
Just talked about it. They average 248 across the front. Now, that defensive line for Theodore only averages 211, but they can use that speed to offset the lack of weight right there. Play clock under 5 seconds. Arsenal sitting up in pro style there. Little quick toss out to Dallas Daffin. Just talked about him. I believe that's enough as he falls across the 40-yard line. That should be enough to get the first down.
Finding a way to produce first downs and move the change. Travion Pines, the 5'6", 150-pound junior, with the catch, with the tackle for the Bobcats. And with the sticks being moved, it opens up the playbook for your offensive coordinator, Matt Scott.
So ball sitting squarely at the 41-yard line right in front of us here at C.A. Douglas Field. Beautiful night, we told you earlier, 70 degrees. Perfect night. Corey, fall finally arrived for football. Evans takes the handoff. Flag comes in. He picks up maybe 2 or 3. We'll get the call here from our officials. Referee Paul Brooks is leading the crew tonight. We'll get the call from him, our first flag. Looks like a chop block against the Yellow Jackets, so that will push them back. That's a big 15, Corey.
Yeah, that's one of those costly penalties. As we take a look at the replay, it was a positive gain on the run, even though it was a short one, but the flag came out immediately.
Personal foul, illegal low block on the offense, 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
Here's our look at referee Paul Brooks. The rest of the crew tonight: Gary Maulding, Derek Pettaway, DeJuan Jackson, Joey Toxey, Carl McDowell, and Ricky Doyle. They'll be handling all the action tonight. So it's going to be first and long here for the Yellow Jackets crew. What would you say, maybe about first and 25?
Yeah, right at first and 23 maybe. And again, the Yellow Jackets far behind the stick, going to try to get half of that yardage back here on first and second down.
Once again, hand off to C.J. Evans. He picks up maybe 1 or 2, and it'll take McGill to second down.
Good stop by the Bobcats. Number 12, Jamil Richardson, 6', 175-pound sophomore on the play. And now the Yellow Jackets are operating at 2nd down and close to 23 yards to go.
The line to get is pretty much right at the midfield stripe, the 50-yard line. Little quick out. Arsenault put on his back there. And that's going to take McGill to 3rd down as the Bobcat faithful cheer and start to clap.
Ham Barnett turned Demoy Kennedy loose.
Yeah.
The 6'2", 190-pound junior came from his outside linebacker position, the jack linebacker position, and absolutely rocked and rattled Arsenault on that throw, not giving him time to throw the football.
Ball sitting right at about the 25-yard line. Trying to get to the 50 to pick up the 1st down. Down at the bottom of the screen, Jennings Clayton. Another quick handoff to C.J. Evans. He's got some room. He is a shifty and slick runner there. Gets it up to about the 39-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage, but that is not enough, Corey, so it'll be 4th down for the Yellow Jackets.
4th down and 11 yards to go now for the Yellow Jackets. As you look at the replay, that's the type of hard run that C.J. Evans is capable of producing. But when you're looking at 3rd down and 22, 23 yards to go, a nice run like that is negated. All you're able to do now is possibly flip the field and get a good punt off.
Back to receive for Theodore is Zach Workman. On to punt for McGill. Jack Martin averaging 36.7 yard average. And he's going to put it straight up in the air, and it's coming straight back down as Workman fills it at about the 30-yard line with the fair catch. So, Corey, what's your first look? Both teams, their first series there. What's your takeaway?
Having an opportunity to feel one another out, and you knew it was probably going to be an offensive struggle, but Theodore is going to wind up regretting that drop touchdown that was right in the hands of Jordan O'Neal. If you have a situation like that, you must capitalize. It's one of those things that says, Coach Collier in the pregame said, big-time players make big-time plays in big games. That's an opportunity there in a big game to make a big play. Let's see how this Theodore offense bounces back.
Both of these teams possess high-scoring offenses. McGill averages 30.7 points a contest, and Theodore averages 29.8. So it's almost like they're mirror of each other. I used to play tennis in high school, and my coach would tell me, if you play a tall guy, play him for the mistakes that you make. So it's almost like they're playing themselves right there. Nice run by Devontae Washington, picking up a couple yards, so maybe just filling each other out. But these teams are really, really similar.
You look at Devontae getting past the line of scrimmage, being able to keep his balance and absolutely putting the truck stick on Samuel Satterwhite and running him over and getting the Bobcats in 2nd down and 4 yards to go.
Yeah, staying in front of the chains there. O'Neal in the slot. They're going to try to get this one out to Workman. Does Workman get his feet down? And he does the work. And that looks like that's enough possibly to get the 1st down, and it is. Looks like the chains are going to move, so 1st down for Theodore.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments this defensive staff makes of McGill-Toolen, because when you have that type of balance, you look at Underwood just taking a one-step drop and finding Workman. Great execution of keeping his foot in bounds. All he needed was that one and made sure he secured the football and also got that foot and drug it along the sidelines to pick up the 1st down for the Bobcats.
On the season, Workman has 10 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's a 57% completion percentage passer. As you can see, he can work the pocket very well. They're going to go with a little fake on the jet sweep, and this play is going nowhere. Nice coverage for the Yellow Jackets, but they do complete it. They get it out to your man O'Neal, so Underwood takes his time, buys some time, and finds O'Neal coming across the flat there.
Look at the great footwork of Underwood. He just steps up into the pocket, feels the pressure, drifts to his right, and goes ahead and finds Jordan O'Neal, who's streaking across the field. Good job of keeping his head up and his eyes down the field by Underwood.
Underwood doesn't give up on the play, so that moves the ball into McGill territory. 2nd time tonight. Theodore has driven the ball very well. Jimmy Haywood on the move. Nice little spin move doing his Saquon Barkley impersonation. He picks up the 1st down up to about the 31-yard line, Corey.
Anytime you're able to get to the 2nd level of Sam Satterwhite, who's playing the safety position, that spells trouble for the Yellow Jackets. That means the Bobcats were able to get a hat on a hat and get that type of push that they needed, but that's a great offensive play and production on that play for the Bobcats.
1st and 10, handoff once again to Jimmy Haywood. That play goes nowhere. As you can see, game clock down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Corey, it's officially fall now, so no heat timeouts, but a late flag comes in. Possibly this could be a personal foul against one of the Bobcats there, as the Bobcat faithful yelling down to the field, "What are you doing? No, no, no."
Yeah, they're getting after one another, and these two teams knows what's at stake by playing for first place in 7A Region 1. We know the Bobcats have not had a home playoff football game since 2009. They traveled on the road a few times, but in this situation, you just have to keep your cool, can't let your tempers flare.
See what the call is here from Paul Brooks and the crew.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
So a little extracurricular right there, going to push Theodore back. It'll be 1st and long here for the Bobcats.
One of the things that I mentioned in my checklist, you have to prevent those penalties, and that's one of those unforced penalties that really cost the Bobcats in this situation. They were driving and had some momentum going, and now all of a sudden this personal foul backs you up.
So it looks like it's going to be about 1st and 25 here. Sorry, 2nd down. That was 2nd down. So 2nd and 25 for Theodore. Ball being placed at the McGill 46-yard line. So big play right here that Theodore needs to come up with, try to get at least half the yards back, Corey.
And on 2nd down and 25, the biggest thing for the Yellow Jackets is to make sure they don't allow any wide receivers to get behind them. Keep everything in front of you, and also make sure that you're wrapping up the ball carrier. We talked about that swarm mentality. You must, in order to tackle this Bobcat running game, take their legs out from under them.
Little quick handoff to Zach Workman on the jet sweep. And he is definitely working. The piles moving for him, of course. Now it turns into a rugby scrum as they get back close to the original line of scrimmage there. Nice big gain for Workman.
And again, with his speed on the end, you know the young man who used to play at McGill Tulane at 6'1", 175 pounds, he has 5 rushes on the season. Make that 6 as they run that jet sweep. He has 41 rushing yards. He's going to add to that total along with 2 rushing touchdowns. His long had been 16 on the year. Not quite 16 yards on that run, but nonetheless to get you back to 3rd down and manageable.
Paul Brooks and the crew down in the center of the field discussing some things here after this play. They've actually stopped the clock, so I don't see a flag, but
I just saw him pick it up and put it away.
Personal foul. 15-yard penalty on the defense.
Okay.
Result in a 1st down.
So that's 15 on top of the run, so that's going to push Theodore into the red zone. Ball at the 16-yard line. Of course, I didn't see the flag, so maybe some more extracurriculars going on. We do know that before the game there was some interesting things taking place outside the stadium before the game you saw tonight, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where we know these two teams know what's at stake, so they weren't going to bow down to either one of them. The Bobcats are in good field position now at the 17-yard line.
Haywood in the backfield. They pitch it out to him. He's looking for the hole to cut up into. He gets to about the maybe 13-yard line, maybe 14-yard line of McGill. Take a look at the replay right here.
One of those situations where he bounces to the outside, and you're not going to tackle this young man, Jimmy Haywood, with any arm tackles. You're going to have to make sure you wrap him up because he has a tremendous stiff arm. We saw him a couple weeks ago against Bryant just utilize that stiff arm and just bounce defenders off of him. So we know once he turns that corner, you're going to have to take his legs out from under him.
This is our 3rd time covering Theodore this season, and they have that 1-2 punch of Jimmy Haywood, Devontae Washington. Both of these backs average 5 yards a carry. There's the 2 punch coming in, Devontae Washington, but he runs into a wall of Yellow Jackets, Corey, and goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's going to bring up a 3rd down and probably close to a long 7 yards to go. It's going to be interesting to see where they spot this football. Looks like it may be right at the 13-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Underwood taking his time, looking over to the sideline for the call as the Bobcats come up to the line of scrimmage. So we'll call it 3rd and about 7 here for Theodore. Underwood looking for someone, but no one is there. Maybe he thought Workman was going to run into the end zone. Workman stopped at about the 3-yard line, so that ball incomplete. Looks like Theodore is going to try to get the field goal here and get the quick 3.
Did a good job of trying to stay patient in the pocket, didn't force anything, just went ahead and threw it out of bounds. That's a good decision because you don't turn the football over.
Now, normally Marcos Lynn does the field goal and kicking for the Bobcats, but on for this field goal attempt is Seth Tillman. We'll call this one right about a 30-yarder here. Tillman gets it up. Does he hook it in? And that's good. So Theodore on the board first with 3 points, Corey, at the 1:11 mark of the first quarter.
Yes, it was a true 30-yard field goal for the Bobcats, and that's something that's going to make the Bobcat Nation happy, and as well as the coaching staff. We talked again about on my checklist, you have to play special teams well. If you're Theodore, that's something that really hurt them early in the season, but they've done a great job of converting that 30-yard field goal.
Boy, there's a look at the Bobcat frenzy going wild in the stands. Howard McCain's on the sideline. He's got an update. What's up, Howard?
Yeah, guys, 1:11 remaining in the first quarter, and I've kind of been tracking the plays in this football game so far. Two total possessions now for the Theodore Bobcats. 19 total plays. McGill Tulane only 6. If that trend continues, look for some fatigue to set in with the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets later in the ball game. McGill Tulane has to get these Bobcats off the field if they want to have something for their defense to hold in the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Howard. Very good observation. That's something Coach Collier preached before the season and during the season, getting out quick and playing fast and keeping that tempo going. And you could see it, Corey, with that first 2 possessions. They left 7 on the field when O'Neal dropped it, and they just left another 6, but they did pick up the field goal, but continuing to play fast with more plays, like Howard said.
Yeah, tempo is very important. The run-pass option situation for the Bobcats is something new because they're known as a running team.
Chris Suggs picks up that kick right there at about the 10-yard line, gets up to about the 20, so we'll get our second look at the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets. Don't forget Greer's Apples for the Students. Greer's Market is once again teaming up with Mobile County Public Schools for the 10th annual Apples for the Students program. Unlike traditional fundraisers, Apples for the Students is easy and fun. Best of all, everyone in the community can take part. It's simple. You shop, save your receipts, and turn them in at the school, and the school can earn valuable items like computers and school supplies. So, shop Greer's Market for the Apples for the Students program. Our second look at McGill here, setting up at the 20-yard line. Good shot of Spencer Arsenault, sophomore quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, and Evans goes nowhere, Corey. He is brought down immediately by the Bobcats. What a tackle by Theodore.
Jeremiah Hester, the 5'10", 195-pound senior, coming from his defensive end situation, did a wonderful job of getting in the backfield, disrupting that. Has 20 tackles, make that 21 tackles now on the season, 4 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. Very impressive stat line for the young man who's the defensive end.
Yeah, Corey, it was almost like he was in the backfield before they could hand it off. Hand off once again to Evans, and he is tackled right about at the original line of scrimmage, about the 20. It looks like your guy DeMoy Kennedy got in on that action as well.
Anytime you can let go DeMoy Kennedy, and the more active he is, the more you call his name, the bigger a blessing that is for Ham Barnett's defense. It's a situation now, 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
The young quarterback from McGill doesn't really have to snap this one. Game clock under 5 seconds, and the play clock hasn't even started yet as we approach the end of the first quarter. And there is the whistle from referee Paul Brooks. So Theodore on top, 3-0 over McGill right now, with this big battle taking place. We'll be back with more action. Matter of fact, we'll bring you the second quarter when we come back. Theodore on top, 3-0 over McGill. Don't move. When you need to know what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, watch Inside Education with Helena Tyler for all the latest school news and in-depth reports on issues that affect your child right here on MCPSS TV network. That's Inside Education. Start of the second quarter, 3rd down and long here for the Yellow Jackets. We'll call it maybe a long 3rd and 9, Corey.
Going to be critical for the Yellow Jackets to move the chains and get some type of momentum. Don't want the defense to have to come right back on the field.
You're right. Ball has not been marked ready to play yet. I'm looking for referee Paul Brooks, Corey.
He's standing right over the football.
Yeah, he's right over the ball. There he is. So maybe if I looked at my monitor in front of me, I would see Mr. Brooks.
He blends, his white hat blends in with the white jerseys.
He's blending right in. And I have all 4 of my eyes on tonight. So 3rd and 9 here. We'll call it 3rd and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. Dallas Daffin in motion. He's the leading receiver for the Yellow Jackets. Moves to the slot at the top of the screen. Little delayed screen there to Evans. And that ball, that play picks up maybe 2 or 3. Not the most productive play for the Yellow Jackets right there. I know when they had 3rd and long in their previous series, they did a little quick draw to Evans. And Corey, he got about 10, 15 yards. Wasn't enough, but that brings on Bay Cummings once again for the Yellow Jackets.
It was a safe play. The tackle made by Jaden McCants, the defensive end, 5'10", 195-pound junior, did a great job of getting off of his block and diagnosing that delayed screen. And you can look for a lot of hang time on this punt. That's one of the things that McGill-Tulane does a good job of if Jack Martin is getting the ball very high in the air. I think he's a left-footed kicker also.
Now, typically, Hunter Tillman handles punt return duties. Beautiful kick by Cummings, but tonight Zach Workman is doing all the punt returns. This is his 2nd punt return. He gets a couple yards there. Let's take a look at both of these coaches in our coaches comparison, Corey. Our first time looking at McGill-Tulane this season. They come into the ball game. Coach Ernest Hill in his 2nd season at McGill. Maybe we don't have that graphic up just yet. We'll get back to it. As Theodore is about to head onto the field here. Their first possession of the 2nd quarter. I can't believe I'm saying it because we just started the 2nd quarter. McGill opportunity just wasted there, Corey. And we're looking at Theodore once again. What Howard talked about, the number of plays and the touches they're getting. It is really starting to add up.
Theodore likes to have that RPO offensively, likes to get the good tempo going. It's going to be important for McGill-Tulane to try to hold them to 3 and out right here.
Hand off to Jimmy Haywood, and he got that motion going early, Corey, with a good head of steam. Picks up maybe 5 or 6, taking Theodore to 2nd down.
Real good push by the Theodore offensive line on 1st down. Going to bring up 2nd down and 3 yards to go for the Bobcats, and that's the type of productivity that you really need on 1st down. You're able to churn out 7 yards on 1st down. Great things are going to happen.
Beautiful shot of the moon there, and I shorted the kids. I appreciate you giving that extra yard, Corey. I'm going to go with you. Let's call it 2nd and 3 here for Theodore. Hunter Tillman in motion. Little jet sweep there. Can Tillman inch it over across the yardage needed? Looked like about the line needed about the 42. He is close from where we're standing. He's about right on it where they're going to mark this ball. I think it will be a 1st down.
Yeah, I think he's going to have just enough by the nose of the football. Stopped by Chris Heights, the inside linebacker. You look at the replay. Hunter Tillman on the jet sweep is able to have a lot of success, and he comes in with 4 rushes for 11 yards with 1 touchdown. And again, you look at the dynamics of this Theodore offense. They want to run the football first, but the run sets up the pass. So if you're the McGill-Tulane secondary, you have to be very, very disciplined, not get caught looking in the backfield, allowing one of the Bobcat defenders to slip behind you. We've seen them run a double pass in past games. I don't think you'll see anything special like that tonight, but again, you just have to be aware of everything that's in the playbook and the arsenal of the Bobcats.
Now, Corey, we're in week 8 of action, and if I recall, this is the first time we have seen a measurement this season, I believe, where they have brought the chains out to measure, and as you can see, Theodore a bit short there. Maybe about a football length short. So they're going to bring it up to the hash mark. I don't recall the chain gang coming out at all to measure this season, Corey. I don't.
And that's a situation to where the chain gang is getting their money's worth tonight. Pulling up a measurement, but the Bobcats know right here at 3rd down and 1 yard to go, offensive coordinator Justin Ridgway has those 2 big bruising backs that he can go to in Haywood and Washington. So far, the offensive line have gotten a good push.
So 3rd down, and we'll say it's the length of a pigskin, and you got Haywood back there on that 1st down. He had a big head of steam. Underwood steps on the center, and he's going to try to keep it and push it across the line himself. And his big offensive line, they do just that. So that should be a 1st down for Theodore.
Congratulations to the Theodore offensive line. The big uglies up front. Colby Kyles, Cole Payne, Trey Owens, Desmond Ford, getting that push against this 3-4 defense. And all they needed was a snout's nose of the football. They were able to get that and move the chains.
So ball sitting at about the 44-yard line of Theodore. 1st and 10 here. Jimmy Haywood in the backfield. 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen, Tillman and Workman. Theodore taking their time. Haywood tries to make a move, and he's upended right at the line of scrimmage. And that's no gain on the play.
And the McGill-Tulane coaching staff on the far sidelines knew that the play was going to be a tall sweep to the left. Chris Heights upends Haywood. Great open field tackle, not allowing him to turn that corner. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Bobcats.
Told you to keep your eye on that guy. He's the leading tackler for the Yellow Jackets. He just simply upended Haywood, and Haywood's a big boy now.
Yeah, Coach Collier telling him on the sidelines, I want you to turn it up north and south, square your shoulders, and be able to get upfield and make that move. Wasn't able to do so because of the great defense of McGill.
No gain on the play. 2nd down to 10 for Theodore. Underwood fakes to Workman, and he has Tillman wide open. Great catch by Hunter Tillman. Goes up and grabs the moon pie out of the sky, and that puts it down at the McGill 27-yard line. Big play right there for the Bobcats.
Hunter Tillman, listed at 5'8", 170 pounds, went up against the 5'10", 155-pound sophomore Jaden Mosley. Just take a look at this replay, folks. The ball was on the money. Look at the verticality of Hunter Tillman, just making sure that he was going to squeeze the football and come down with an outstanding throw and an even better catch.
Coach Ernest Hill calls a timeout right now, so we'll get our coaches comparison up. Take a look at both of these young men. Ernest Hill, McGill-Tulane head coach, in his 2nd year, 18-2 record. Listen to this score. He's got a 900% winning percentage. Played 4 years at University of West Alabama. He's got his master's degree from Jacksonville State. I like this. His son is a freshman running back at Tuskegee, and his daughter is the reigning Miss Tuskegee this year for 2018-2019. Said if he wasn't a coach or an educator, he would be a chef. Very busy man there, Coach Ernest Hill. Across the field, Eric Collier, we're familiar with him, head coach at Theodore. He's been here 6 years, 27-31. He's 0-2 in the playoffs, and also the former Bryant head coach, loves to fish, and we talked about it with him at the last game. Goes to Guatemala with his church as they do mission work over the summer, every summer, Corey. That's a commitment right there.
Just a wonderful and outstanding young coach in this profession, and I say young coach because he likes it when I call him young. He's a leader of these young men, and they really know that they would do anything for him. But in that coaching comparison, Ernest Hill's been with McGill-Tulane for 4 years. 2 as the defensive coordinator, 2 as the head coach.
2 as the head coach. He got the job 2 years ago. Doing a fine job over there. So 1st and 10 for Theodore after the timeout from McGill. They're going to hand this one off to Devontae Washington. Fresh legs, and Corey, he is trying to get into the end zone. Almost dragged down there by Sam Satterwhite. And they're inside the red zone, but they're inside the scoring zone. Ball at about maybe the 6 or 7 yard line. Big run by Devontae Washington.
Huge hole created by this offensive line, and he knew exactly what to do with it. Bounced it to the outside and was able to get around all the arm tackles. Chris Suggs was able to finally bring him down. It's going to be a 1st and goal situation with the Bobcats knocking on the door for 6.
Power I formation, and Haywood is met at the line and wrapped up immediately by Carson McLean. Big tackle right there for the Yellow Jackets.
Carson McLean coming from his defensive end position on a slant. The 6'1", 200-pound senior went straight down, slanted down the line, was able to get in the backfield, almost took the handoff away from Underwood. A big, big loss for the Bobcats and a big stand for the Yellow Jackets.
2nd and goal here, ball at the 11-yard line. Theodore cannot pick up a 1st down. Haywood in the backfield with Underwood. Play clock approaching 5 seconds. Little play action. Underwood's going to keep it, Corey. Gets close to the original line of scrimmage, but he is being held down by one of the Yellow Jackets and brought down on that tackle right there.
Wells Keaton holding on to his legs for dear life. The outside linebacker, 6'1", 190-pound
There's
junior.
a replay, yeah.
And you look at Underwood stepping up into the pocket, and that's exactly where Wells Keaton was able to hold on for dear life. Now we're looking at a 3rd down and goal situation. Let's see if this Bobcat offensive line can get the push. It would be a huge stop for this Yellow Jacket defense if they're able to hold them to a field goal.
Now we know Seth Tillman kicked the first field goal. I do see Marcos Lynn on the sideline walking around, has his helmet off. Little quick handoff, jet sweep to Zach Workman trying to find some room. Corey, that was going to be a pass, and Workman drops the ball, so a little trickeration. Looked like they were going to try to hit Haywood in the end zone.
Yeah, it was either him or Traylon Martin that he was going to try to pass it to. You look at the jet sweep, and we've seen them run this play before to where it's a double pass, and it just slips out of his hands. He's not able to secure it, and now the Bobcats, looks like on 4th down from the 8-yard line, will have an opportunity to kick another field goal.
Tillman is going to kick. I do see Marcos Lynn on the sideline. He has his helmet off. So Tillman setting this one up right about the 15-yard line, so that'll be a 25-yard field goal. He's on the near hash close to us. Looks like he's going to just try to fade it in between the goalpost here. So let's take a look. Great shot from our crew right there, Corey. Beautiful. Kick is up, and that is good. So Tillman 2 for 2 tonight, Corey, at the 6:45 mark. Theodore on top, 6-0 over McGill-Tulane. We're going to be back with more action. Don't move.
October is Parent and Family Engagement Month, and Mobile County Public Schools is sending out an invitation to you. Join us Monday, October 15th at your child's school, and you can pick up report cards as you meet and greet your child's teacher. There will also be parenting workshops to provide resources and materials for students' success. Because when families, communities, and schools work together, students succeed. So mark your calendar, October 15th, for our Parent and Family Engagement Day.
We welcome you back to CA Douglas Field. Theodore on top, 6-0 in this big Class 7A Region 1 battle. Both teams undefeated in the region. Theodore 5-0, McGill 4-0. Theodore on a 5-game winning streak, and Corey, McGill has a 30-game region winning streak that stretches back to 2014. So a lot on the line for both of these teams tonight.
Yeah, like we mentioned, 44 of the last 48 games have been won by this Yellow Jacket team. They played in the last 3 7A state championship games, and that's very impressive when you look at it. This kickoff team by the Yellow Jackets is called Prime Time. Coach gives them the name, and let's see if they can live up to the expectations of Prime Time.
Coming around the corner right there on the return, Kendall White. And he gets it out to about the 33-yard line, but there is some laundry on the field.
Yeah, that's going to probably be a block in the back in that situation from the point. The flag's right at the 20-yard line. As we take a look at the replay, the Yellow Jackets returning the football are going to be guilty of the block in the back. And it's going to cost them probably 10 yards from where the flag was thrown.
Great work by our crew on the sideline there to get that shot. Thanks to our folks over at Jersey Mike Subs. Corey, they took care of the crew tonight. I walked up and I had everyone saying, Al, let me help you with the boxes there, because they know it's a sub above, and you get it Mike's way with the juice, so you can't beat Jersey Mike Sub.
No, the sub above have 3 locations: Dolphin Street, Airport Boulevard, and Malvis. A 4th one getting ready to come in Saraland. Want to thank Mark and Christina Sinclair. Jersey Mike's a sub above.
Fine folks over there doing a job. I picked the stuff up at Dolphin Street, and it was all ready to go. And we got down here for the crew. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Yellow Jackets. Little play action. Arsenault, he's got a man deep. Can he unload it? And he has him wide open, and he does connect on a big, big play to Jordan Mosley, Corey. McGill's first time inside Theodore territory tonight.
Yes, the defensive backs for the Theodore Bobcats were kind of confused. They were waiting on the football. Travion Pines and also Cameron Brown almost were just looking in the backfield waiting for the football to come back. Arsenault had him open early, and if he would have led this football or led the receiver a little bit more, it would have been 6. He would have caught it in stride. But now for the first time, the Yellow Jackets cross midfield.
Yeah, Mosley had to wait on that one. Little quick out there, and that is incomplete. Trying to get it hooked up with Jennings Clayton. Clayton averages 12.4 yards of reception. He's got 2 touchdowns on the season. That little hot potato he couldn't bring in, so it's 2nd down for McGill.
And what's interesting about that, you can complete a 45-yard pass, but in a situation to where it's like a 2-yard little dump pass, you throw that in complete, just have to settle down, and that's one that you really want back and that you would like to complete. But now it's 2nd down and 10 for McGill-Tulane.
Much more high percentage play there. Trips at the bottom of the screen. Clayton goes into motion. Going to the slot, and they're going to try to get it. And Clayton's looking one way, and Arsenal's throwing another way. Ball behind him. That equals an incompletion. Corey, that's simple math. That equals third down.
Yeah, he tried to get the ball out of his hands a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
Spencer Arsenault. He had Jennings Clayton open for the second consecutive time in that slot position. Now third down and 10 yards to go. A down and distance situation that just begs the Bobcats to bring the blitz against Spencer Arsenault. You have to make sure if you're the linebackers, though, that you stay at home. And if you're the cornerbacks, you don't let anything get behind you.
3rd and 10 here for the Yellow Jackets. Evans in the backfield with Arsenault. Bobble snap. He needs to get rid of it. Gets it out to Evans. Evans can make a move here. But he is wrapped up and brought down at about the 45-yard line, so not enough to get the first down.
Trey Pines on the stop by the Bobcats, only allowing 2 yards on that play. If it gets past that line of scrimmage in that situation, then there's going to be positive yardage and tons of blockers down the field for the Yellow Jackets. Being right on the 45-yard line of the Bobcats, the Yellow Jackets are going to go ahead and decide to go for it.
Oh, yeah, it's no man's land, Corey, so might as well go for this one. Little trickeration here. They're trying to run the punt squad out to catch the Theodore Bobcats off guard. And Zach Workman moves back to field this punt. Looks like he's going to stay away from it. Little backspin action right there. So the punt goes out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. So Theodore will get their second possession here in the second quarter.
And it's a good job of the Bobcat defense after giving up that big explosive play of finding a way to redeem themselves and stay at home. Now it's a good job of the Yellow Jackets flipping the field. Their specialist, Martin, does a good job with his left foot. That ball has tremendous hang time.
Right.
Now the Bobcats take over on their own 15.
Coming up at halftime, we're going to talk to Christy July. Got big Signature Academy showcase coming up in a couple days, so she's going to stop by and talk about everything taking place. There it is right there, October 16th at the Mitchell Center, so she'll provide more insight as we have a pre-snap penalty. Paul Brooks looking over to get the call, so false start.
5-yard penalty on offense, remains first down.
Push the Bobcat back to about 5 yards.
And that's one of those situations for Theodore. They want to avoid first down and 15 yards to go. So far on first down, they've had a lot of success bringing up second and short, third and short. In this situation with first and 15 now, if you're able to get Haywood the football back to the original line of scrimmage, bringing up second and short, I know offensive coordinator Justin Ridgway would be happy with that.
So first and 15 here for the Bobcats. It's all about possession. They want to keep it. Jamie Haywood, he goes nowhere. He may get a yard for forward progress, but the clock is the ally right now for Theodore, up 6-0. You're up pinned close against your end zone. You do want to get out of here and get some room, Corey.
Sawyer Brady, the outside linebacker, 6 foot, 170-pound senior with 21 tackles on the season and 1 forced fumble, causes the Bobcats to lose maybe 1 yard on that play. Now it's going to bring second down and 16 for Theodore.
Haywood in the backfield with Underwood. Decides to keep it. Playing the high percentage right there. Don't want to risk a shaky handoff, bobbled snap, or fumble, and McGill jumping on it to possibly get 6. So 3rd and long here for the Bobcats coming up.
Yeah, Jacob Huff on the stop, the outside linebacker, 5'10", 170-pound junior, makes his 23rd tackle on the season. And if you're Yellow Jackets, you don't want to commit any type of penalty here because, again, you've got the Bobcats pinned deep in their own territory.
Right. Hunter Tillman in motion. Goes to the top of the screen, so trips at the top here. Going to hand this one off to Haywood. He picks up a couple. Does get some breathing room here for a possible punt coming up from Theodore as the punt crew comes on. Seth Tillman running out onto the field. So if I'm correct, Corey, this should be Tillman's first punt tonight. We've seen him kick 2 field goals, but this is his first time punting.
It will be his first opportunity kicking from the shadows of his own end zone is Tillman. It's going to be very imperative that there's a great long snap to him, and he catches this as Theodore drops some back to create a shield for Tillman.
Kendall White back to receive, setting up at the Theodore 45. Tillman gets it off. It's coming down quick. So White stays away from it. Let's take a look at some of the scores from last week's action. Mobile County Public School Systems. Davidson, as we had that game out at MGM, all over them 25-0. Theodore got the shutout last week over Murphy. Baker held tight pretty good there. Corey had the lead and a chance to probably get that win, but it falls at the end as they lose to Fairhope 30-25. Viger all over the floor, 52-16. Williamson and Andalusia, they play a tough one, 13-6. That's a region loss for the Lions. Robertsdale edges out Rain 28-21. Blunt all over Bryant 41-7. And the big one up in Citronelle last week, 34-31. And they're playing Jackson tonight. That's another huge region game for the Wildcats up in Citronelle. Little quick jet sweep to Kendall White. He's trying to find some room, Corey, and all he finds is 1, 2, 3 Bobcats all over.
The Bobcat defense making sure that they do not allow the offensive player to turn the corner, Kendall White, and he was able to pick up 1 yard on that play. And it's a situation to where we talked about, if you like old-fashioned football at the beginning of this game, it was probably going to be low scoring. Both defenses only giving up maybe 6 points by Theodore, 9 points by McGill. Great defensive struggle so far.
Hand off to Evans, and he gets to about the 46-yard line. Let's take a look at 7A standings here. We started off the game talking about what's at stake here tonight. Pretty much who can win this game will pretty much have control of first place. As you can see, big game going on. Davidson, Murphy tonight as well. Davidson sitting solid in 4th position there, Corey, with a 2-game lead over Foley and Baker and Murphy. So if Davidson wins tonight, they're pretty much assuring themselves of staying in 4th position in 7A Region 1. If we can get our 6A up, we'll try to take a look at that one right quick. And that's a first down, so the chains are moving for McGill. Here 6A Region 1. We know the big one tonight, Saraland and St. Paul's going on. They're playing over at St. Paul's, I believe. And Spanish Fort is playing Baldwin County. Saw earlier this week, Spanish Fort lost their quarterback to an ACL injury. ACL, of course, so he's out for the season. So that should be an interesting matchup with Spanish Fort and Baldwin County tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that winds up. And Blunt had a big region win over
They
Gulf
won
Shores
last night. Right, so Blunt played last night on Thursday and got their win. Arsenault looking for someone. He has time. He's just got to throw it away. We'll take a look at the 5A Region 1 standings. Good coverage by the Bobcats as Arsenault unloads it. Pretty much right there, Viger in control. They haven't exactly clinched the region yet. They have to play Citronelle next week. So if Citronelle could beat Jackson tonight, what a matchup that's going to be next week with Viger and Citronelle playing both undefeated pretty much for first place. Satsuma and LaFleur. LaFleur and Wilcox Central they don't have a win in region play. I think LaFleur and Wilcox Central are playing tonight, as a matter of fact, Corey. So someone will get a win between those two. Flag on the play.
Intentional grounding.
So they're going to call grounding against Arsenault.
Also lost the down, 2nd down.
Now, I thought Arsenault was out of the pocket. I thought he was outside the tackle box, Corey. He threw it away, but I guess not. So that's a loss of down and the penalty. That's what hurts, the loss of down. So it's 2nd down for McGill.
And it's not really like this McGill-Tulane is built with 1:25 left in this quarter to have a big-time play. They're going to go with the underneath pitch.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one right there to C.J. Evans. He picks up a hunk of yardage. It was 2nd and 22. That's going to take the pressure off the Yellow Jackets right there. Quick look at the replay. There it is, as you called it, Corey. Beautiful play there for the Yellow Jackets. 3rd and short here. Well, not 3rd and short, maybe, but 3rd and 5, we'll call it. Looks like they brought it back a bit. I thought it was a bit closer to the first down marker there.
McGill-Tulane's going quick tempo.
Yep. Dallas Daffin with the reception. Little quick out to him, and that's enough to get the first down. We're under 1 minute, so Ernest Hill wants to get on the board. Let's take a look at the 4A standings right quick, if we can get that up, as the Yellow Jackets playing tempo. 4A Region 1 standings, I believe they have called timeout, so we'll have time to get this one on. McGill-Tulane calls timeout. UMS right in control, 4-0 in the region. Escambia County, Hillcrest, and Andalusia. We saw that loss last week Williamson had. That was a big big game right there by them losing to Andalusia. They are on top of Wilson right now by a half game, even though they're notched up at 2-2 in the region. Also, Clark County, Neal, and Monroe County still looking for their first region win as well. Okay, parents, it's time to get connected with Parent Connect. Join Carmen Bounds and Paula Reese as they look into district-wide policies that concern your child and their school. You can catch them weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network. Parent Connect. Had a chance to talk to Ms. Paula Reese last week at the game out at MGM. She explained that program and what she does for the school system. So, Corey, what do you say right here? Under a minute, McGill-Toolen trying to get on the board. They're only down 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, a touchdown or any type of score right here would be huge for the Yellow Jackets going into halftime. This is the deepest they've gotten into Bobcat territory the entire first half. They look to go tempo after the referee spots the ball. It's something every team works on, your 2-minute drill. In this situation, it's a situation to where the Yellow Jackets, or as soon as they spot the football, they're going to be on top of it, ready to go. They have 2 timeouts in their pocket. See if they're going to throw the ball to stop the clock with the completion or moving of the chain on the first down.
Arsenault empty set. Steps back. He has time. He connects with Dallas Daffin. Daffin pretty much tiptoeing on the sideline. He does get out of bounds, which is important, at about the 18, maybe 17-yard line, and that's enough to get the first down as well.
Great job by Arsenault, just taking his time, dropping back, knowing exactly the dig route that Daffin was going to run. And as he comes across the field, Daffin does a good job of towing the sidelines and stepping out of bounds to stop the clock.
First and 10 for McGill inside the red zone, their first time tonight. Arsenault comes back with that pass. That's a forward pass. It's not a lateral. Evans just beating himself up like, I should have had it. Maybe it was a bit low for him, Corey.
And it'll be interesting to see here on 2nd down and 10 on this throw that Arsenault has, rolling to his right, throwing back to his left, just throws it a little bit too low, not giving Evans an opportunity to catch that football. I would like to see if they're going to go to Dallas Daffin here. We just mentioned his name picking up on the drag route. He's at the top of the screen on the far left, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to find him some way offensively. You don't want to turn the football over here. You want to give yourself an opportunity to score 3, though.
And Daffin is their leading receiver, pretty much the playmaker for the team. Bo Hightower in the slot at the top. Play clock down to 1 second. They just get the snap off. Daffin waiting for the ball and waiting. And Corey, you just said it, fumble. Did that go out of bounds?
Incomplete.
Incomplete. Okay,
I don't think he ever had possession of the football, but that's exactly who you want to go to. You want to go to Daffin. Now I want to see if they're able to go to Bo Hightower on any type of vertical route, because you're sitting down here, 3rd down and 10 yards to go with 35 seconds left. You're not in 2-down territory, because you want to get half of this yards to give your field goal kicker an opportunity to kick close to a 42-yarder.
35 seconds remain here. 3rd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Arsenault fakes the handoff to Evans. He's going to Dallas Daffin in the end zone, and just past the outstretched hands of Daffin on the coverage right there, Trey Pines. That would have been 6 if it would have been a little closer, a little closer to the fingertips there, Corey.
Look at the replay. Arsenault went to his number 1 wide receiver, which was Daffin, and Daffin just couldn't hold on to it. You mentioned if Daffin would have been 6'1", that would have been a touchdown by the Yellow Jackets, and now they're going to have to settle for 3. But how big would it be for the Yellow Jackets to come away with 3 here, or even bigger for the Bobcats to have some type of block or stop the Yellow Jackets from having any momentum going into halftime?
Bay Cummings lining up for a 34-yarder. He is 6 for 6 on the season for field goals, and I believe Eric Collier is going to try to freeze him here as Theodore calls a timeout, Corey. So they're going to try to put the ice on Bay Cummings.
Yeah, 34 yards. We've seen the Bobcats hit a 33-yarder earlier in the game. And also, that's the only scoring that we've had, a 25-yard field goal and a 30-yard field goal.
Right.
So if we're able to get a 33-yard field goal, we'll have 9 points on the board in the first half, all coming at the extent of the specialist kicking field goals.
Let's take thanks to our folks over at Future Ones. for hooking us up with our gear tonight and the entire season, taking care of us and the crew. Future Ones, it is definitely the future. And also, Corey, we have the red polos for October. We've been wearing different colors, so thanks, Future Ones, for that. And Jersey Mike Subs for taking care of us with the eats. They do a great job every week for us, hooking us up with the catering boxes. The reason we have the red on, Fire Prevention Week. So right now, this place is on fire, and I believe there may be another timeout, Corey. Let's see who called this timeout here. I wonder if Coach Collier did them back-to-back. So, yes, that's the case. Theodore back-to-back. So, as we said, we have the red polos on. Look, listen, and learn. It's National Fire Prevention Week all this week. So, thanks to our folks at Future Ones for hooking us up with the red polos. But most importantly, look, listen, and learn. National Fire Prevention Week going on this week. Corey, I talked with Howard before the game, and this is what he predicted. It was going to be a low-scoring defensive battle going on here tonight with this ball game, and you can see it right now, 6-0 Theodore on top.
Yeah, I didn't really think there would be more than 20 points scored total in this contest. You knew that somebody was probably going to be lucky to get into the teens.
Right.
But again, if you were to tell me that 3 field goal attempts would be where we were before halftime, almost 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 makes here if he does make this kick. That's going to be the story of the first half.
So 29 seconds here. Bay Cummings lining up a 24-yarder. 34-yarder, sorry about that. Got to count for those 10 yards in the end zone, Corey. And the Bobcat faithful on their feet. Urging the Bobcats to block that kick. Cummings puts it up, and it is through the uprights. It's good. So 34-yarder for McGill. McGill on the board, 6-3 at 25.1 seconds remaining.
Plenty of distance on that. That probably would have been good from, I would say, close to 50 yards because he hit the tower that's behind the goalpost with the football. And 25 seconds to go in the first half, 6-3 our score. That's a big-time play by the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it is. So that's huge that they would get on the board. You don't want to go into the locker room at halftime with a goose egg on right now. So it's good they got some points there. And the way it's going tonight, every point is going to have to be earned in earnest because both of these defenses are stingy. 2 of the top in the state of Alabama, not just 7A, but in the state period. So great battle we have going on right here. Going back to receive for Theodore, Zach Workman and Hunter Tillman as Bay Cummings tees this one up to kick off. Cummings kind of pooches this one in between, puts it out of bounds. And we know the flag will come out right now, so Coach Collier make the decision if he wants to take the yardage or have them re-kick this one over. As you can see, Paul Brooks right there discussing it.
Kick out of bounds. Home team has chosen to re-kick.
So Coach Carr is going to make him re-kick it.
Yeah, the Bobcats want to set up some type of return, have better field position, have an opportunity to try to score here with 25 seconds remaining. Don't have any timeouts remaining on the board in the half because they burned them trying to ice the McGill-Tulane kicker. He was unfazed by it, was able to knock it through the uprights anyway.
Right.
But it's a situation now the kickoff team called prime time for the Yellow Jackets are going to have to get down the field and make a big-time play.
So Workman and Tillman kind of inching up a bit here.
I take that back. This is the bomb squad. The kickoff team is called the bomb squad. The kickoff return is prime time. The punt team is prime, and punt return is pride and joy. So let's see what the bomb squad comes away with.
Well, Cummings looks like he has enough leg to bomb it, prime it, do all that, Corey. This one goes right up the middle. Zach Workman takes that line drive. He's got some room. as he falls forward to the 35-yard line. So 20 seconds remain here. We know Tyler Underwood has a cannon back there. He can get it down the field, so maybe 1 or 2 plays. Let's see what Theodore comes up with.
I would take a knee right here. I would not try to force a turnover, some type of big-time play or return by the Bobcats or by the Yellow Jackets, that is. I would probably just take a knee right here into the half.
Right.
With 20 seconds remaining. You're leading 6-3, so no need to have any type of turnover or give the Yellow Jackets any opportunity to have anything positive besides the field goal going into the half.
And I believe that is what's going to happen. Standing at the 20-yard line, Jordan O'Neal and Theodore is going to pretty much go into this early game victory formation, huddle up and just take the snap, take a knee, and then take it to the locker room, Corey.
I think that's a great decision. The Bobcat Nation's going to be very excited, leading 6-3 over the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets, the number 6 team in the state.
So Coach Eric Collier plays the percentages, sits on the ball. Let's just go to the locker room, play it safe. On top, 6-3. Corey, we saw an opportunity where Theodore could have got an early touchdown. Jordan O'Neal drops it in the end zone. And then also in the second quarter, Zach Workman on a jet sweep tried to get the ball out to throw it to Haywood, but he couldn't connect. The ball pops out and fumbles.
A couple of big field goal makes by the Bobcats have been the difference in this game, and so far all field goals by both teams.
Let's take it down to the field. Howard McCain is with Coach Eric Collier.
Yeah, thanks, Coach, for joining us for a quick second. Coach, couple of drives that your offense was able to put together only yielded 6 points. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I wish we'd have come out of there with more points, to be honest with you, but we hurt ourselves a little bit there. They ain't stopped us. We've stopped ourselves.
It looks like your team is winning the battle in the trenches, and we knew this was going to be a defensive struggle considering the fact that your team is highly ranked as far as defensive scoring, and so are they. But your defense has played really, really well. Talk a little bit about those guys.
Well, we've been good all year. Our kids play hard. We got a good little team. We got a good defense. And I'll be honest with you, people getting their money's worth tonight. It's a great ball game.
Absolutely, Coach. Look, go get your team ready for the second half. Thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Howard. Appreciate that. Coach Collier is right. His defense is the best in the state pretty much in 7A. He's got a point there.
Only giving up 5.5 points per game. You don't see that too often in high school football. These two teams are going to be real stingy. Yeah. So if you're able to put any type of points on the board, it's like you call that premium fuel. You're able to go ahead and upgrade your fuel in this situation. Points are a premium today.
All right, 6-3, Theodore on top. It is a defensive battle. Maybe we'll see some more points in the second half. But coming your way, it's halftime. We'll have the bands, plus we'll talk to Christy July about the Signature Academy Showcase coming up. Don't move, it's halftime. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. It's halftime at the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Let's take it down to the field and take a listen at the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jacket Marching Band.
School Signature Academies allows
at the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets marching band. We'll be back, and we're going to talk with Christy July on the other side of this break. Don't move. Welcome back to the MCPSS High School football game of the week. It is halftime on the field. We have the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets band. And standing up here in the stands with me right now, we have Christy July with the Mobile County Public School System. Christy, you know all about Signature Academies, but you have a very big event coming up in a couple of days. Tell us about it.
Yes, it is our Signature Academy Showcase. It's for all 8th graders that are interested in learning more about our 12 high schools and what each of those high schools has to offer.
Okay.
So it'll be held at the Mitchell Center on October 16th
Gotcha.
from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. We'll have faculty and staff, we'll have students, we'll have activities and departments that parents may be interested in speaking to, such as special education, transportation, counseling. So as parents make a decision as to what they want to do, for their students for 9th grade, this is a great opportunity for them to get to see all 12 schools at one time.
We're taking a look at some videos from some of the past Signature Academies. When parents come out, what can they expect? Do they need to bring anything with them? I know it's free of charge, but do they need to bring anything particular, any identification, any proof of anything, or anything like that? Some people want to know, what do I bring to Signature Academy?
They don't need to bring anything. They just need to bring an open mind and excitement and be willing to talk to all of our schools and see what's available at each one of them, because we have great programs at all 12 of our high schools.
All right, we're talking with Christy July. She's going to tell us more about the Signature Academies and Signature Academy Showcase. Speaking of that, we have 12 high schools in the Mobile County Public School System. Talk to us about, quite briefly, this different Signature Academies at each one. I know you know them now.
Yes, I do know them. Well, we'll start with Theodore. Their signature is industry and engineering.
Gotcha.
And just a little bit more about Theodore, that may be their signature, but they also have the only dental program in the state of Alabama
I did
for
not know
students.
that.
Yes, here at Theodore High School. But we have programs such as aviation and aerospace, biomedical sciences. We have engineering at some other schools. We also have welding with maritime. And our schools the goal is to make sure that we are exposing them to high-wage, high-demand careers in our region. And so we try to make sure that wherever those schools are located, we're exposing the students to what's available. So for instance, at Bryan High School, they are associated with coastal studies, and so those students get to experience what it's like to have a career and a business in the coastal industry. And so that's the whole goal, to make sure that our students are aware and exposed to what's available to them so that they can make the best decision for their post-secondary experiences.
All right, we're talking with Christy July about Signature Academies. We're here with the Mobile County Public School System. The showcase is going to be Tuesday at the Mitchell Center, October 16th. Give them the time, and once again, what kind of things they can be on the lookout for at the showcase?
Yes, it'll be open from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. and it is a walk-around event. So you come and you are welcome to talk with as many schools and departments as you want. And so we encourage our parents to bring their students and any other family members or friends that may or may not have students in Mobile County Public Schools but do have an 8th grader and are considering the Signature Academies. It's open to everyone in Mobile. So we want everyone to come out and enjoy the event.
All right, Christy July, Signature Academies. We wish you success this Tuesday coming up at the Mitchell Center with the Signature Academy Showcase. So make sure you check it out. Thanks for coming by. And as always, you know you can always come back, right?
Thank you. I enjoy being here. Thank you.
Let's take it down to the field. Check out the Theodore Bobcat Marching Band. Theodore Bobcats marching band wrapping up their halftime performance. Don't move. We're going to take a break and come back, give you some first half stats, and also we'll bring you the second half as well. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. You gonna run?
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County public school education for preparing my children for life.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Theodore on top 6-3 over McGill. It is halftime here at C.A. Douglas Field. And Corey, very interesting first half that we had tonight. Only produced a total of 9 points, 6 for Theodore and 3 for McGill.
Yeah, we expected a very low-scoring contest, and that's exactly what we've gotten. Because of the two great and outstanding defense, you have the number 6 team in the state and the number 9 team in the state overall ranked in the polls. But defensively, you have the number 1 versus the number 5 overall defense, and because of it, offense is very hard to come by. And when you look at the Yellow Jackets, it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to capitalize off of the opportunities Coach Collier Collier talked about the Bobcats being the team that's beaten themselves so far and stopping themselves. They had a drop touchdown pass in the end zone, a couple of penalties that have kind of impeded their drives a little bit, and because of it, we have a 6-3 game, and we expected it to be this way, but kudos to the specialists being able to go ahead and make their special teams very effective.
Let's review your checklist right now for Theodore. They are the home team, Corey. Let's recap some of those things you talked about in the first half there.
When you talk about the Theodore Bobcats, some of the things that they have to do to be very effective is to get ahead on first down. And that opening drive, they were able to do so. The times that they were not able to produce anything but punts, they got behind on first down. They have to be spectacular on special teams. We've seen that thus far by Theodore. And also preventing penalties, that's something that they want to clean up here in the second half.
All right, now for McGill, on the flip side, what did you have in your checklist for them as we started the ball game tonight?
You look at the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets, you have to swarm and stop the run.
Yeah.
That's something that the Bobcats were very effective. Washington and Haywood are going to give you that big 1-2 punch, and that's something that they were able to drive down deep into the Yellow Jackets territory by running the football. They have to protect the quarterback, something that Theodore's been able to get some pressure on Arsenault, not really drop him for a lot of sacks, but make a difference on how he's able to throw the football. And avoiding McGill miscues, you haven't seen them being able to avoid those miscues because there's been a couple of timing routes that have not been effective. They've had one explosive offensive play so far tonight. So, again, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast it being a chess match.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's going to wind up being here in the second half also.
All right, appreciate that as we review the checklist right there. Corey, I know we're going to have some stats coming up here shortly, getting our graphics team get those together as well. About 2 minutes remaining here in the halftime here at Theodore with McGill, C.A. Douglas Field. I'm Al Whedon, Corley Bounty down on the sidelines, Howard McCain. And also, I'm pretty sure Howard's going to try to get in contact with McGill coach Ernest Hill as well, because he talked to Eric Collier before halftime. We got our stats up right there, Corey, so you can break them down for us as they're coming in pretty much on the screen right here.
You look at the overall total yards for the Theodore Bobcats, 120 is what they're listed at. McGill-Tulane having 110. The passing yards are in favor of the Theodore Bobcats, 86-74 for the Yellow Jackets. Rushing yards are almost dead even. Penalties, there's been a few penalties, more than zero that's on the screen. Both teams called for personal fouls against one another early in the game. The game got chippy early. So, again, these last 24 minutes, sit back, relax, and enjoy this action of great high school 7A Region 1 football here at Theodore High School.
And you notice right there, no turnovers on both teams, but Corey, we did see the pigskin hit the field, but fortunately for both teams, they were able to jump on those fumbles, and so there are no turnovers tonight in the ball game. So second half just close to getting underway here. McGill's Tulane still out on the field, getting their last minute stretches and working out. And I believe Howard is going to have Coach Ernest Hill coming up here in a matter of moments. So speaking of Coach Hill, we talked about his winning percentage, 900% winning percentage there, 18-2. And Corey, you talked about it earlier, served his 2 years on the coaching staff. In the past 2 years, he's been the head coach and doing a phenomenal job at McGill.
Anytime you can win over 90% of your games as a head coach, that's an outstanding record. Again, taking them to the state championship game 1 year ago, trying to get back there, one of these seniors to be real hungry, and it's going to be coming down to the region championship right here in the second half.
Let's take it down to the field. Howard McCain with McGill coach Ernest Hill.
I'm here with Coach Collier, head football coach of Coach Ernest Hill. Forgive me, Coach, I'm sorry. I interviewed him going into the half, man, so, we'll forget about that. But, Coach, only down 6-3, hard-fought game, and you knew that coming in.
Yes, sir.
Now, what did you get a chance to tell you guys at the half?
Well, we got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot, and we got to execute calls and stop giving them big plays on offense, and we got to continue to move the ball on defense. I thought we moved the ball the last drive that we had the ball. We've been kind of moving a little bit all night, but we keep shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. So, we just got to take care of ourselves.
Now, what about your defense? Talk to us a little bit about how you feel about how your defense played in the first half.
Because, I thought they played well, but, again, they gave up some big plays. They didn't deserve those long passes. But, that's football. Coach them did a great job on those play calls, and we got caught up watching the game.
Right. Now, tell me one last thing before I let you go. What about the Lucky Boxers? You think they are going to pull it out for you tonight?
I didn't understand what you said.
What about the lucky boxers that you're wearing tonight? You think they're going to help you pull out this game tonight?
Well, you know you ain't supposed to say that on TV. But, yes, they always do. Thank you.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Howard. We're going to get you to elaborate about that a little further, a little superstition Coach Ernest Hill has there, Corey. So McGill will be receiving the second half kickoff coming up here as we are moments away from getting underway to resume this battle for Region 1.
And this is where you want the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets to strike, right here on the opening drive of the second half.
Yeah. And that ball is going to go in, and it stops right at the end line, Corey.
It's going to be a touchback.
It's going to be a touchback. Wow. Right at the goal line. But standing right on top of it, Johnny on the spot, referee Paul Brooks. Corey, if we can get a shot of this, oh, my goodness.
Look where the pigskin dies. I mean, it literally, the nose of the football crossed that end line, and because it did touch the white chalk, it's evident that it did go across and break the plane of the goal line another inch forward, and that is a live ball, and the Bobcats are able to jump on top of that and score a touchdown. Now the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets take over at their own 20. Coach wants to make sure they don't hurt themselves here in the second half. Let's see if they heed his message.
You're right about that. I did like that last drive they put together toward the end of the second quarter. They weren't able to punch it in, but Corey, they found some momentum and they started kind of trying to get themselves together, kind of like the McGill offense we're kind of used to seeing as we see most of the highlight film from them every week. Our first time covering McGill this season, as a matter of fact. So here we go. Spencer Arsenault waiting for the snap. He's going to hand it off. C.J. Evans, big hole right there, brought down by DeMaury Kennedy, picks up maybe 5 or 6 on the carry. Second down for McGill coming up.
Yeah, you get to that second level of the linebackers, and DeMaury Kennedy from his jack linebacker position is able to make the stop. But you can see the intensity that C.J. Evans comes running with here to begin this third quarter.
Dallas Daffin moves to the top of the screen there for McGill, out by himself. They're going to hand off to Evans once again. He picks up a couple. I believe it's enough to get the first down. And the chains are going to move.
And that's just hard running. That's McGill-Tulane football, because what it does is you're continued to run the football. It sets up the pass, and the confidence that Arsenault gets by seeing his running backs have and get and gain positive yards on first and second down is instrumental.
We have called Evans' name a lot tonight. Have yet to see the backup running back, Reedy Barnes, come into the ball game. They pretty much use Evans as a back, but also as a receiver. He averages 12.4 yards of reception out of the backfield. This pass going to Dallas Daffin. He's just waiting on it, wrapped up by A.J. Braxton. And that's going to move the sticks once again for the Yellow Jacks, I believe. I'm sorry, he's a bit short there. I'm sorry about that, Corey.
You see the play action pass, and Arsenault puts it on the money to Daffin along the McGill-Tulane sidelines, and you see run, pass. So the balance now that's being demonstrated by Matt Scott, the offensive coordinator, the first-year offensive coordinator by the Yellow Jackets. Let's see if they can continue to move the sticks.
Second and short for McGill right here. Hand off to Evans. He keeps the legs going, falls forward. That's enough for a first down, I believe. And the chains are going to move.
And one of the things that you'll start to notice, and I know Howard's down on the sidelines and he can tell a little bit better, as the weather continues to get cooler, the field and the grass becomes a little bit more slippery.
Right.
And that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I see a lot of guys out slipping here to begin the third quarter of play.
We started this ball game at 70 degrees, and I'm pretty sure that temperature has dropped a bit down more. Corey, at this point, probably the lowest temperature we've had for a ball game this season, because it's pretty much been heat the whole time since we've been calling games since the start back in August.
Yeah, nice. I wouldn't call it a cold front, but a cool front coming through here, the Mobile, Alabama area. It's going to bring up second down and 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
McGill pretty much on the move, started this drive at their own 20-yard line after the touchback. Looks more like a consistent drive from what we probably were expecting to see out of the Yellow Jackets. Couldn't quite seem to get things together in the first half there. A lot of drives interrupted, as Howard talked about in the first half. Theodore ran more plays, as we could see, than McGill. And we have a stoppage in play right now at the 9:24 mark. Looks like the Yellow Jackets are going to call timeout maybe Coach Hill didn't see something he liked, so he's going to discuss it on the sidelines. Don't forget to check out Join Homeroom with Renee Phillips and find out the latest homework tips and what's happening inside the schools and classrooms. It's Homeroom with Renee Phillips right here on the MCPSS TV network. I'm Al Weeden, joined by Corey Bounty. Pinch hitting for us tonight. We have Howard McCain on the sidelines. And Corey, beautiful night for football. We know a lot at stake here tonight. Talked to Coach Hill before the ball game. I asked him what's his impression of Theodore. Said, we're not intimidated at all. We've been here before. This is what we do. We know people are going to come at us because of what we've done the past couple of years. You talked about it, been in the championship game the past 3 years, and they won it all in 2015.
Yeah, and with this senior team, he wants these guys to go ahead and finish up strong. They have an opportunity to win 4 consecutive region championships.
Right.
And that's something you don't see a lot of in the parity of high school football. But this freshman class, who are now seniors, came in and saw McGill-Tulane football at the pinnacle of its career.
Take a look at the weather right now. We're going to bring it up. We just mentioned that the temperature has dropped. As we said at kickoff, it was 70 degrees down to 64 degrees now, Corey, and we can definitely feel it. Still a clear, beautiful night, but the temperature has dropped. Those 6 degrees have made a difference. And Dallas Daffin, he's the difference for the Yellow Jackets, picks up that first down. I'm sorry, takes it to third down, so a bit short there, Corey.
And I think that pass is going to be
so it'll be third and short here for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I think Jennings-Clayton with the reception on that one instead of Daffin. And you look at a 3rd down and 3 situation, McGill-Tulane bringing in brand new personnel, allowing Theodore to also bring in new defensive personnel. Again, 8:50 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. If McGill-Tulane can continue to sustain this drive, let's see if it'll wear and tear on the Bobcats.
Looks like they're going in one of those different kind of maybe a wildcat set, direct snap to Evans, and he gives it off to Hightower, and he gets nowhere, Corey. All the Bobcats wrap him up.
Yeah, you saw the big nose tackle get onto the offensive line for the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets. Ladarius Cox lined up, I do believe, at guard, but not a lot of push by that offensive line as Demoy Kennedy was very active from his outside linebacker position. No yards gained on that play. Going to remain 4th down and 4 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets, and we'll see their specialists come out and punt this football away. Jack Martin, with the tremendous hang time ability, is going to punt it away to Mr. Workman.
That was Sawyer Brady on that carry, not Bo Hightower. Cummings, nice punt there. And Workman picks it up, maybe takes a yard or two. I thought he would just stay away from it and let McGill down that ball, Corey. That's very, very suspect. You don't want to do that. A tight right here, only down by 3 points. McGill, they would jump all over that if for some reason he bobbled trying to pick that ball up.
Almost a 4-minute and 11-minute drive that was turned away by the Bobcats.
Yep.
So, again, 6-3 our score here at C.A. Douglas Field in Theodore, Alabama. And now the Bobcats get an opportunity to see if they're going to continue to ground and pound with their 1-2 punch of Haywood and Washington.
We'll try to ground and pound your brain later. The game of the week, Brain Buster, is going to be coming up shortly. We'll put that question out there, so stick around as it heads your way. Right now, headed your way, the Theodore Bobcats, their first possession of the 2nd quarter. Hand off to Jimmy Haywood. Weaving his way through the line, picks up maybe 4 or 5, Corey, on the carry, takes Theodore to 2nd down.
And that's something that Haywood has the ability to do. He has a tremendous ability to keep his pad level very low and gets a little bit of push from the line of scrimmage, picks up close to 5 yards, maybe 4.5.
We'll call it 2nd and 6 here for Theodore. Take a look at the defense right there on the sidelines, grouped together, recapping that previous series they had on the field. Play clock under 10 seconds for Underwood. They give it back to Haywood once again. He may get a yard on forward progress, Corey, but he didn't go very far.
And that's that swarming McGill-Tulane defense that you see around the football. And you look at no push by the offensive line. Good job of the penetration and finishing the tackle by the Yellow Jackets. And then after the play, you had a couple of players that had some familiar words to say to one another, and the referees were able to quickly break that up.
We saw 2 penalties in the first half, little extracurricular activities, personal fouls on both teams. So don't want any of that. Maybe did the Yellow Jackets jump over there? They're looking at Carson McLean. He's a bit upset. The flag did come out, so we'll see if that's going to be the call. So they are moving it forward.
Dead ball. Encroachment. 5-yard penalty on the defense. Result in a first down.
So unfortunately, the Yellow Jackets jump across the line, and the benefit of that is the first down for Theodore. And that pushes the ball up to about the 22, maybe 23-yard line.
Yeah, you want to prevent those penalties, and you're not able to do so, especially a penalty that results in a Bobcat first down.
Mm-hmm. Workman and Tillman at the bottom of the screen, as you just saw there. And Underwood going over the top, trying to hook up with Zach Workman. They're fighting for it. Could it be an interception or is it a reception? That's a catch. Wow. As Zach Workman looks over at the camera, and that's a huge pass that gets Theodore out of their own area into McGill-Tulane territory.
You look at this pass, Underwood drops back and absolutely throws a strike, folks, in stride. Outstanding job by the receiver, Zach Workman, on defensive back Corian Wilson. It was deuce on deuce, and the red deuce came away with the catch for the Bobcats.
Beautiful catch by Workman right there. You can see the arm of Underwood. It looks like he's trying to go back to him again. Underwood escapes the sack, and he's brought down. Takes a loss right there. It looks like he was trying to go back to Workman or maybe Tillman here on the near side, but couldn't get the release point out.
Chris Heights, the inside linebacker, 5'11", 200-pound senior, makes the big stop on the play for the Yellow Jackets. One play after giving up that explosive play, and that's what you have to do as a defense. You have to put the last play behind you and play the next play, and they did a good job right here. Let's see if they stay home and stay solid and don't allow any more explosive plays by the Bobcats.
Second and about 13 here for Theodore after taking a loss on that previous play. Underwood keeps it, fakes the handoff to Haywood, and the Yellow Jackets read that. And that's a no-gainer for Theodore. Going backwards right now, Corey.
The fans want a late hit on the play, but Underwood is wrapped up by Chris Heights on the play, and also Sawyer Brady doing a good job of making sure that he does not gain any additional yards. Going to bring up 3rd down and 12 yards to go for the Bobcats, essentially on those last 2 plays, taking them out of field goal position.
Yeah, and that's huge right now in a game that we've only seen scoring from the kickers. So the clock has stopped. Officials discussing something on the field here. I think I do see a flag, Corey. It did come out.
Dead ball. Sportsmanlike conduct. 15-yard penalty on the defense. Results in a first down.
So maybe one of the officials saw a late hit, but they called it unsportsmanlike. We don't know who they were pretty much targeting. We didn't get a replay on that, but that's going to put the Bobcats close to the red zone and get them out of trouble. That's a first down.
You go from 3rd down and 12 to 1st down and 10. You go into non-field goal range into the red zone area. That's a huge penalty against the Yellow Jackets.
So as you can see right there, viewers taking a look, ball squarely at the 21-yard line of McGill. Underwood keeps it. Little RPO action for the big quarterback. He picks up maybe 6, possibly 7 on that carry, Corey.
And Underwood's not known as a rusher on the season, because he only came in with 26 rushes for 93 yards into tonight's contest, but again decided to keep that one with confidence. He at least got his momentum going into the positive direction. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 yards to go for the Bobcats.
Now we know a few weeks back, McGill was taken to double overtime by MGM in a very close contest. Matter of fact, they had to kick a field goal to send that ball game into overtime. As a matter of fact, Corey, we were here calling the Theodore Bryant game because that game between McGill and MGM had been a lightning delay. So we were able to hear a bunch of the overtime as we were driving home. So that's the closest a team is coming and knocking off McGill this season in region play. They did have a loss in Louisiana, and looking like Underwood's finding his way past the first down marker, but there is a flag on the play, and from where that's located, I think that one's coming back. Possible hold there as Underwood was escaping the pocket.
You look at Underwood, he's trying to step up a little play action. He's going to drop back, feels the pressure in the pocket as it collapses, uses great footwork to step up, but there's going to be a holding on one of the offensive linemen up front. Great job by our camera crew coming right into your living room.
Always phenomenal job by the MCPSS crew here on hand. They do a great job getting the pictures and everything.
Block in the back. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
So it's a block in the back against the Bobcats that'll put the ball right there at the 30-yard line. So we're going to repeat second down. So this one's going to be a long one. Maybe about second and 19, possibly second and 20 here for Theodore.
See how much pressure McGill's able to get on Underwood, and let's see how Theodore is able to protect him.
Hunter Tillman on the jet sweep there, Corey, and they are sweeping him up. The Yellow Jackets all over him. No gain on that, and that's actually going to be a loss there.
Yeah, he's not able to break containment, doing a good job. Were the Yellow Jackets of making sure he didn't turn that corner. Sawyer Brady was able to get on top of Hunter Tillman. You see the jet sweep run a lot by this Bobcat offense because we've seen it set up other things in the past. They're trying to rip and tug away at that football, but Tillman does a good job of securing it.
Holding on to that pigskin. So 3rd and long here for Theodore. That pushes them back maybe 3 or 4 yards. So we'll just call this one 3rd and about 24, 25, a quarter of the field. But we've seen the arm of Underwood before, so a big play would be of no surprise right here. Jimmy Haywood even flanks out to a receiver. Little screen, they try to get it over to Hunter Tillman. He's the utility guy for them. That's an incomplete pass. So a drive that had some positivity, they picked up a first down off a penalty, and now they've shot themselves in the foot and gone backwards. So Theodore's got decision time. Are they going to punt it or to go for it here, kind of in no man's land, Corey?
Yeah, it's a situation where you have to secure that football, though. A couple of weeks ago, we saw Tillman have a couple of those drops, and he made a tremendous and athletic catch in the first half, went up and got the football. In that situation, the ball hit him in his hands, and he dropped it, trying to set up that screen. It looks like some type of pooch punt will be set up here by the Bobcats.
Chris Suggs back to field this punt. Seth Tillman does put it up. And it goes out of bounds at about the 14, I'm sorry, about the 18, about 14-yard line, Corey. So McGill will take over here. So both teams have possessed the ball in the 3rd quarter, no points. Both teams got into each other's territory but couldn't produce any positivity out of those plays. So we'll get our second look at McGill here in the 3rd quarter. As I told you earlier, don't forget we're going to put up that game of the week brain buster as we get ready to wrap up the 3rd quarter here. 2 minutes remaining. Quick play going on tonight, Corey.
That was a 5.5-minute drive that occurred by the Bobcats, produced a punt, but now the Yellow Jacks take over deep in their own territory.
C.J. Evans with the handoff right there. Takes that ball maybe a yard. We'll give him credit for it. You talked about that possession McGill had. They had the ball maybe 4.5 minutes, and Theodore comes back close to 5 minutes just over. And as you whittle it down, we only played 12-minute quarters in high school, and there are no heat timeouts at that first dead ball under 6 minutes. So we are just really rolling right now. 3rd quarter about to wrap up.
Al, we had a 4-minute and 57-second drive by McGill-Tulin that limited a punt, and then Theodore had a 5-minute and 35-second drive.
Wow, defensive struggle, defensive battle here tonight between these two teams. Arsenault, a little play action, trying to connect with a receiver, and he does have one downfield, and that is incomplete. He was getting that ball out to Jordan Mosley. Mosley had a step, but couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, just out of his stretched arms, probably maybe 2 yards too deep. You look at Arsenault, you can see the type of arm that he has, and you can see him trying to stretch the field and go vertical. And his receiver was not really open. Good defense by the Bobcats, making sure that they were on top of it.
Trey Pines on that defense right there, Cora.
Give him credit because that's pretty much who they've been attacking offensively all night long.
3rd down and long here for McGill. Bobcat faithful yelling out defense, wanting them to hold here. And it looks like what they're going to do. C.J. Evans brings that pass in, but he's going to be far short of a first down.
Nice lick by the Bobcats on the play made sure that no yards were gained after the pass was completed, as Jamel Richardson out in the flat make sure that no additional yards did C.J. Evans gain.
The one thing I did notice as Evans went down to the turf, you talked about it, Corey, with the humidity being a bit high and the temperature dropping, kind of almost like a bit of dew, a wetness, a slickness has gotten onto the field. This is natural grass. It's not field turf or anything. So you could kind of see some slipping going on with Evans as he went down to the ground. Workman back to field. This beautiful punt. Cummings has been doing a great job punting tonight for the Yellow Jackets. Workman does have some room. Gets it up to the midfield strike. Nice return for the young man. Picked up maybe 20, 22 yards on that return.
Yeah, from the 33 to the 50-yard line. So that's a good return. The Bobcats will take right over at midfield with 32.4 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Very quick third quarter here. Both teams have possessed the ball once. Theodore will be getting their second opportunity. So every possession matters in a ball game like this. We have stingy defenses. And as you can see, the score just 6-3 with Theodore on top.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets only possessed that ball a little less than 1 minute and 30 seconds. So Underwood has an opportunity here to go maybe vertical at least once, especially on first down before the quarter ends.
Trips at the top of the screen. Little quick pass out to Hunter Tillman. Little 4-yard pickup for the Bobcats as the clock continues to run. PA announcer says they're going to give him 5. I think that's the home field advantage, Corey. So I'll go with that. We'll call it 2nd and 5.
And the Bobcats look like they're going to go ahead and take this play to start the fourth quarter. Going to flip the field and go the different direction, leading 6-3, trying to end the Yellow Jackets' 30-game region winning streak.
Yeah, no need to snap it right here. So that'll wrap up the third quarter as we head to the fourth quarter. Theodore on top 6-3 over McGill. All right, Corey, we got a break right here. We normally kind of reveal the answer, but that third quarter went by pretty quick. We're going to put the question out here right now. The game of the week, Brainbuster. The last region game McGill lost was in 2014 to Murphy. What team did they beat to start their current 30-game region winning streak? There's the question, so think about that one. We'll come back to you with the answer in the fourth quarter. The game of the week, Brainbuster. And right now, Corey, we're going to do an early tease. We're getting ready for the fourth quarter. Who have you seen right now that's kind of standing out as a possible pigskin player of the game for you?
Well, right now it definitely has to be Seth Tillman. He's put the 6 points on the board for the Bobcats.
2 big field goals for him.
If he does not make those, then, of course, the Bobcats either would be trailing or not leading in this game. So I think that the kicker, Tillman, has definitely have to be a leading candidate for the MVP so far.
Any candidates you would say probably on the McGill side, any particular players that have stood out for the Yellow Jackets tonight?
Again, I think it's going to be the kicker for McGill Tulane as well.
Bay Cummings.
Bay Cummings, because if he's not making those kicks, or the kick that he did make for the Yellow Jackets, they don't have any points on the board.
Gotcha.
So far, the 2 specialists for each team are the leading MVP candidates.
All right, we'll revisit the pigskin player of the game toward the end of the game, but we'll also give you that game of the week Brainbuster answer coming up sometime in the fourth quarter. All right, here it is. Fourth quarter action. Theodore on top 6-3. This is a big contest. Both of these teams undefeated in region play. And at the top of the season, Coach Eric Collier talked about the playoffs. He said we can't just settle for getting in. We want a home playoff game, and we can contend. It's time we get over the hump and win this region. And, Corey, this team has been playing like it all year.
And they're trying to get over that hump. And, I mean, Coach Collier feels like the only team that can beat his Bobcat team are the Bobcats.
Yeah.
And that's something that he shared with Howard going into the half, and so far so good, leading 6-3. Anything's possible. These last 12 minutes should be outstanding football.
2nd and 5, ball sitting squarely on the 45-yard line in front of us here at C.A. Douglas Field. I'm Al Whedon, joined by Corley Bounty. On the sidelines, we have tonight Howard McCain. Beautiful night for football, about 64 degrees. And Tyler Underwood's going to keep that one, trying to weave his way to the first down marker. The line to get is the 40-yard line. I believe he's about 2 yards short, Corey.
take a look at the replay. Underwood, again, with the opportunity, handed off, decided that he wanted to go with the quarterback keeper. And because he's so big, I mean, I'm talking about he's listed as 6'1", but I think he's maybe closer to 6'2".
I agree with you.
Has a long wingspan, is continuing to grow. 3rd down and 2 yards to go. That's going to be the longest 2 yards that the Bobcats have faced so far.
Yeah, you're right about that. Double stack at the top and bottom. He's got a man. It's Zach Workman. And you can see the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets trying to rip that ball, but Workman was down by contact on the ground, cannot cause a fumble, so he was down. So that's a first down for Theodore.
Corian Wilson is the defensive back on the play, trying to strip the ball away from Workman, and he almost takes it away from him, but Workman was able to jump back on top of it, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Bobcats at the Yellow Jackets' 32-yard line.
A very familiar place for the Bobcats, Corey. They have been in McGill territory all night. Haywood flanks out. They're going with a little screen right there to Workman, and that play goes nowhere. Be no gain on that 2nd down for Theodore.
Sawyer Brady does a good job from his outside linebacker position, again, holding on to the ankles of Workman, making sure he can't gain any additional yardage. Matter of fact, he's going to lose a yard, and it's going to bring it 2nd down and 11 yards to go for Theodore.
So it will be a loss. One name we haven't called in a while, Corey, in a manner of positivity or Theodore trying to get the ball to him, Jordan O'Neal. We haven't called his name in a while as far as offensive play. He's lined up out there at the top.
He's in the slot, and it's going to be interesting to see, Al, if he has a ball thrown his way, but so far the running game has been effective.
Underwood decides to keep this one again, so I wonder if Theodore is going with a ball control, maybe run possession. We're only going to throw it kind of if we have to and let the clock be our friend, because we know we have the best defense in 7A.
It can definitely be your friend because you're leading 6-3. You don't want to become conservative.
Right.
But again, when Underwood reads that defense, if he decides to pull it and run it himself, he sees something within that defense, and as long as he's not turning the football over, the clock will continue to run with 9:35 here to go in the 4th quarter. Theodore's in no rush to get to the line of scrimmage. They're being very deliberate on how they call their offensive play. Breaking the huddle now with 4 seconds remaining. Let's see if they can get the snap off.
You're right about that. He's got to get this one off before a delay a game. And he's trying to connect. He has Hunter Tillman down the middle, running on a post pattern there, and that ball incomplete. Tillman did have to wait for it a bit, but he got his hands on it, Corey.
A big-time collision. You take a look at the replay. Underwood drops back and tries to get the outstretched Hunter Tillman. He was reaching for it, and the defensive back, Corian Wilson, does a good job making sure that the ball is incomplete. Just for a split second, it looked like Hunter Tillman was going to be able to catch that football, but 4th down and 12 yards to go. The Bobcats are going to come out and punt this football and try to pin the Yellow Jackets deep.
And as you said earlier, your leading candidate for the Pigskin Player of the Game, Seth Tillman, on the handle of the punting duties. That punt goes off there. And White lets it bounce. And Corey, looks like Theodore is going to get this ball. I'm sorry, McGill is going to have to take this ball at the 1-yard line. Wow. Great punt by there, Seth Tillman right there. All right, Corey, we put the question out there at the top of the 4th quarter. The last region game McGill lost was in 2014 to Murphy. What team did they beat to start their current 30-game region winning streak? Would you like to offer a guess there, Corey LeBound?
Theodore.
And the answer is, drum roll please, it was Theodore on October 24, 2014. But look how close the ball game was, 25-23. As a matter of fact, that's the closest Theodore has come to beating McGill in the past 8 times.
Yeah, they've lost the last 8. Going to try to make the Yellow Jackets go 99 yards to take the lead. We know that Bay Cummings has excellent range. He kicked, I think, a 44-yarder in double overtime to win it for the Yellow Jackets, or to tie it against MGM a couple of weeks ago. So let's see. There's a bad snap.
Bad snap to C.J. Evans. If they get him in the end zone, Corey, that's a safety. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
As my daughter would say when she was a baby. Wow, that is a safety. That stifling Theodore Bobcat defense drops in and gets 2.
That's the worst thing that could have happened for the Yellow Jackets in that situation. But if we take a look at this replay, not fielded cleanly, C.J. Evans was in the Wildcat. He's not the normal quarterback.
That's
and
right.
It was a bad snap. Anytime you have a new quarterback, center exchange, right there against your own goal line, that's exactly what happened. The Bobcats were able to pounce on top of the football and get the safety, now leading 8-3. Now the free kick coming up by the Yellow Jackets, and the pressure again is going to be on McGill Tulin.
You're right. Now, Corey, not very often this happens. Last week we had an impact player for Davidson, Joe Montano, who ended up being your pigskin player of the week, and a similar situation happened. And right now, your man Seth Tillman is rising to the top. He pinned the Yellow Jackets at the 1-yard line, and the next play is a safety. We saw it last week with Davidson and MGM.
Well, one of the things on my checklist at the beginning of the game, I said that Theodore needed to be spectacular on special teams. It's down to the 1-yard line and being able to convert 2 field goals. So spectacular, definitely on special teams have the Bobcats been.
So Theodore will receive the ball back after this safety. Free kick coming right here from Bay Cummings. So Cummings looks like he's going to tee it up at the 20 here. And the young man does have a leg, Corey. We have seen it on display tonight.
And just look at the juice and the enthusiasm and the excitement that was prevented or seen on the Bobcats sidelines after that safety did occur.
Right. Now, we just talked about Theodore has an 8-game losing streak to McGill. Coach Eric Collier is 0-9 all time against McGill. Remember, he coached 4 years down at Alma Bryant. So he's looking for his first win against the Yellow Jackets tonight if they could hold on. Hunter Tillman on the run right here. Nice return.
And there's going to be a penalty on McGill Tulin.
A lot of flags coming in, Corey.
Let me tell you why that penalty occurred, because the helmet was knocked off of Nick Ruggs on special teams, and he continued to participate on the play. And as soon as his helmet got knocked off, he got rocked by 2 Theodore special teams players. And you just have to stop right there. And he got up and tried to make the tackle.
That's right.
There's a safety issue because of it, and it's going to cost yardage.
And the field was just littered with laundry after that.
Illegal participation, 15-yard penalty on the defense. First down.
So referee Paul Brooks and his crew all over that one, and that sets up Theodore in McGill territory. Let's look at the remaining schedule for Theodore and the importance of this game tonight. So they're playing McGill. As you notice, Theodore only has 2 region games left with Davidson and Murphy. Matter of fact, the game next week, they're on a short week. That's a Thursday night game. So we know that Theodore has secured a playoff berth. We just don't know if they're the number 1 or the number 2 or the number 3, because you don't want to lose the next 3 or you know, win 1 tonight and lose 2. You can't really say. But as you can see, there's the rest of their schedule. And the last week, week 11, they'll go up to Enterprise. That's being a non-region game. Underwood decides to keep this RPO pushed out of bounds. Whoa.
That's
pushed
a big
out
time
of bounds.
play.
Big play right there by Chris Suggs. Push Underwood right out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's just being in the weight room and catching the quarterback off balance. And Underwood decided to keep it on the toss, on the fake toss pitch. And when he got to that sideline, just an angle, you get under those shoulder pads and you push him out. That's as clean as football as you're going to get. 2nd down and 8 yards to go for the Bobcats.
8:18 remaining here in the ball game. Theodore on top, 8-3, just gaining a safety over the Yellow Jackets after a beautiful punt by Seth Tillman. Pinned the Yellow Jackets back at the 1-yard line. Gets that ball out late, Underwood does. Workman was waiting for it, but he couldn't get it out to him, so that's incomplete. It'll take Theodore a 3rd down. Here's the remaining schedule for the McGill-Tulin Yellow Jackets. We talked about the importance of this game. Now, as you can see, they are region tight the rest of the way, Corey. Tonight at Theodore, then they host Bryant, but their last 2 games on the road at Baker, and we know that'll be a big one at the end of the season against the Fairhope Pirates.
Yeah, you don't want to look past any opponent in 7A Region 1. We've seen that be evident by a couple of weeks ago. MGM takes this McGill-Tulane team to double overtime, and any given week, any given Friday night, anything can happen.
That is correct. 3rd and about 8 here for the Bobcats. Underwood rolling out. Tries to get that ball to Workman across the middle. 1, 2. 2 flags come in. And we know what that call is going to be. Looks like Workman did receive a little extra help from the Yellow Jackets cornerback there.
Yeah, that's 3rd down and 8. And Sam Satterwhite is going to get called for pass interference as Underwood is scrambling out of the pocket, and O'Neal gets hit before he's able to catch the football. We know he has a 6'3" frame, but when you erase that and take that away, is what Sam Satterwhite was able to do, you're going to give.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Yeah, you give the Yellow Jackets an opportunity now to try to rebound from another preventive penalty.
1st down for the Bobcats as they approach the red zone. Ball being placed at the 24-yard line of McGill. Jimmy Haywood with the carry. Picks up maybe 3 or 4. Takes Theodore to 2nd down.
And again, that safety was huge because you go from a 6-3, a 1-possession game to putting the pressure on this McGill-Tulane offense to who is without their starting quarterback, and their starting quarterback is Sheldon Lehman, the young man who committed to the University of Memphis. He had over 444 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But you take that type of dynamic and explosive offense away from this Yellow Jackets team, and the pressure's on McGill-Tulane.
You're right about that. 2nd and about 5 here for the Bobcats. Theodore looking over to the sideline to get the call and letting that play clock run down. Hand off to Haywood once again, Corey. He busts up the middle. I believe that's going to be a 1st down. And from the looks of it, Theodore inside the red zone and a 1st down. The chains will move.
Well, what will be ideal for the Bobcats is to try to run this clock right up to the 4-minute mark. You're able to get here in the red zone area and get right up to the 14-yard line, and that's going to be critical you go ahead and try to run off a couple of more minutes.
We just talked about Theodore facing Davidson next week. That will be our high school football game of the week. Thursday night, we'll be at the legendary Lab People Stadium. We go live at 6:55. It'll be a region contest. That's a big game for both of those teams, Theodore and Davidson, and always a hotly contested battle as well. Jimmy Haywood just putting the ball in his pocket and just running straight ahead to about the 6-yard line. Corey, you could sense that punt and that safety, it's as if Coach Collier called up the Uber and dialed up some Uncle Mo here for the Bobcats. They are on the move.
Yeah, but Haywood gets to running downfield, Al, and that's something that the Yellow Jackets don't want to happen. They want to get some penetration to where they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. This McGill-Tulane Yellow Jacket defense has been on the field for a long time here in the 2nd half.
Sure has. Clock ticking down to 6 minutes remaining in the ball game. They bring in the 2-punch. There's Devontae Washington. Give Haywood a break there.
And what you start to see is some of the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets get into the backfield. Nick Ruggs was in the backfield, but it's almost like he's not breaking down to wrap up on the tackle because they're slipping off of these Theodore Bobcat offensive players, and you just need to break down and get in a great defensive stance and break down the ball carrier. If you're not able to do that, 3rd down and 1 yard to go. This is huge for the Bobcats.
So Theodore can pick up a 1st down without having to score right here, but picking up the 1st down, even though you don't get points, Corey, you get time off the clock. And it being close to 5 minutes, a 1st down here would be huge for the Bobcats. Jimmy Haywood is tripped up, but I believe he gets enough and falls forward. According to what the side judges are coming in, Corey, that's going to be a 1st down, so it'll be 1st and goal for Theodore as we get close to under 5 minutes.
You look at the replay, you see 44, Sawyer Brady again, get into the backfield, just trips him up, but all they needed was 1 yard, 1st and goal, and this will probably have an opportunity to bleed another 2 minutes off of the clock with 5 minutes remaining.
That was the importance of picking up the 1st down because the the play clocks are set at 25 seconds. So Underwood can take his time right here. The play clock just hitting 10 seconds with the game clock at 4:47. Hand off to Haywood up the middle. He trucks for a touchdown, and Corey, I can feel it in the air tonight, and so can the Bobcat fans. It might happen. Jimmy Haywood on about a 2-yard touchdown run to extend the lead 14-3 right now.
And the first offensive touchdown of the night scored by the Theodore Bobcats, and they did a wonderful job on that drive. They took over at the 8:53 mark and were able to bleed almost 4 minutes off of that clock and capitalized off of a 1 or 2 yard touchdown run by Jimmy Haywood.
You're right about that. Boy, the Bobcat faithful all on their feet tonight, as they are looking to end an 8-game losing streak against McGill Tulane. You can see Haywood on the sideline giving high fives to all his buddies and hugs, as they pretty much are saying, if we can stay on top of this, we can wrap this win up here. Wrap this ball game up and get a win.
And 4:42 is plenty of time for
It
this
is.
McGill Tulane Yellow Jacket team to try to drive down the field and have something positive going. And it's a situation to where Theodore now is in the driver's seat. I mean, because this McGill Tulane Yellow Jacket team is capable of the big strike, but that critical turnover, that critical safety in the end zone really did hurt. Now our score 15-3.
As a replay of Haywood trucking into the end zone, Seth Tillman with the extra point extends the lead to 15-3. Let's take it down to the sidelines and check in with Howard McCain. What's up, Howard?
Yeah, hey, thanks, guys. 4:42 remaining in the football game. Things are looking just a little grim right now for the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets, guys. I just checked it. In the fourth quarter alone, the Theodore Bobcats have run 16 total plays. The McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets just won. And guess what that play was, guys? It was a safety. Turned the momentum in the game in the direction of the Bobcats, and they are well in control late in this ball game.
Thank you, Howard. Johnny on the spot. He's right about that, Corey. I'm sure that Uncle Mo is still in that Uber down here at C.A. Douglas, just circling the stadium, because this place is on fire right now.
Yeah, it's a situation now to where the Yellow Jackets are going to have some type of big return, something to give them their offensive shot in the arm, because all momentum now at C.A. Douglas Field is with the Bobcat faithful.
That ball taken by Kendall White for McGill. A lot of the Bobcat faithful want to block in the back against McGill, and there's the flag at the 20-yard line. As you can see, the Theodore Bobcat player saying, where's the flag, where's the call? Player felt as if he got blocked in the back, and the flag is down on the field.
You take a look at the replay, and a return by the Yellow Jackets. The block's going to come right there into your living room. And the player got up and was looking directly at the official, and the yellow flag came out immediately. The Yellow Jackets are going to take over now. Looks like from close to the 10-yard line, their own 10-yard line, that is. 4:35, Al, a 30-game winning streak by the Yellow
Block
Jackets.
in the back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
McGill down 2 scores right now, needing to convert quickly with 4:35 remaining in the ball game. Costly penalty right there. It was a nice return by White, but it's negated with that penalty. So let's see what Spencer Arsenault and the crew could come up with. Keep your eyes right there at the bottom of the screen. Number 1, Dallas Daffin. He's an exciting player. We know what he can do. C.J. Evans with the quick flare out there, and that goes nowhere. That screen is just simply wrapped up. The bubble is burst as the Bobcats bounce on it, Corey.
Trey Pines does a good job making sure that no yardage was gained. Additionally, after the catch, 1 yard as soon as he caught the ball, and the Yellow Jackets are going to have to go quickly. They can't afford to go 3 and out, but I think you're in 4-down territory right here.
Down 2 scores, you have to be. Arsenault gets that ball out to Evans. He can't bring it in. I'm sorry. Jordan Mosley had it on the left fingertips, the left hand there, but he could not haul it in. So 3rd down for McGill, and you're right, Corey. This is a spot where you've got to pick up a first down. Got to.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're deep in your own territory, at close to the 11-yard line, your own 11-yard line, I think that you're going to have to go for it because you can't afford to punt away to this Bobcat offense, trailing 15-3.
Double stack for the Yellow Jackets right here. Play clock under 5 seconds. We've seen Arsenault's arm. He can definitely get it out there. He can't find anyone. Great coverage by the Bobcats, so he's just going to take it out of bounds. And a massive hit. That's going to be a whoa. A massive hit on the quarterback, so we'll see if that's a personal foul or late hit, but that was huge, Corey.
I think it's going to be a targeting.
Wow.
Leading with the head, Colton Higgins, the Sam linebacker, 6'1", 194-pound senior on the sidelines. I think they're going to say he led with his head. He did tag off on Spencer Arsenault on that far sidelines. Great move by Arsenault, keeping the play alive, and you'll see Colton Higgins lead right there with his shoulder. I'm not sure if he led with his head, but the official saw something else and threw the yellow flag on the play.
Now, a couple of weeks back, we had Cam Brown was ejected for targeting in a ball game against Bryant a couple weeks ago. So let's see what the call is going to be right here from Paul Brooks.
Personal foul. Late hit on the defense. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
So not targeting, just a late hit. But the benefit is the first down and 15 yards, so it gets McGill out of the hole, Corey. Look at that replay once again.
Again, he led with his shoulder. I didn't think he led with his head, but he had already stepped out of bounds on that far McGill-Tulane sidelines. And the Bobcats are going to call a timeout to kind of get their composure together. Good timeout by Ham Barnett and his defense. He wants to talk to the official about why that call was made along with Coach Collier. But you're right now, you've held McGill-Tulane to 3 points.
Yeah.
And you're a defense that has only given up 5.5 points per game this entire season. So you're going to really rely on your defense here for this last 3:54.
Got a break right here. Let's take a look at the 7-8 Top 10 poll brought to you by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. As you can see, we've talked about it all night. Number 6 McGill and number 9 Theodore going head-to-head. Fairhope picking up a couple votes right there. 4 votes just outside of the top 10. See if we can squeeze the 6A poll up right quick. Spanish Fort and Saraland, 2 and 3. 6A area teams in the poll tonight. Saraland and St. Paul's doing battle over there at St. Paul's. Home game for them as well. Try to slide that 5A poll in right quick. No movement there. Viga, big win over LaFleur last week, so they're still undefeated. Ottawa right behind them at 7-0. And Citronelle picking up some votes earlier tonight. They were down to Jackson 8-0. So we'll see the scroll as it come by to see the latest score on there. So there's your 7A, 6A, and 5A poll. We'll try to get the 4A poll up in a matter of moments. So 1st and 10 right here after the penalty against the Bobcats. Spencer Arsenault and the Yellow Jackets trying to get on the board. They need 2 scores to get back in this ball game. Arsenault connects over the middle with Dallas Daffin. Daffin trying to get to the sidelines to get out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. And he does have enough for a first down, so the chains will move here.
Good job by McGill-Tulane and Arsenault finding the dump down wide receiver Dallas Daffin, moving the chains for a first down. As soon as the ball is spotted for play, the clock will start. 3:41 here remaining in the 4th quarter. McGill-Tulane has the score on this drive.
Ball at the 41-yard line. Trips to the top. Arsenault gets this ball out to Jordan Mosley. The Bobcat saying he stepped out of bounds. Official saying no, he's inbounds. The clock is running. So Jordan Mosley gets the first down, moves the 6. And here we go. Hurry up offense for McGill-Tulane. They know they need to score right here.
Yeah, and the cornerbacks aren't pressing. Great shot by the camera crew showing that he did not step out of bounds but did pick up the first down.
Arsenault steps back across the middle. Goes Daffin. Could not be brought down by DeMore Kennedy. Didn't wrap him up all the way, Corey. And Daffin escapes, picks up maybe 8, close to 9 yards on that reception.
Yeah, looking for the kill shot was DeMore Kennedy. Tried to decapitate the receiver from McGill-Tulane, but the ball stays in bound. The clock stops with 3:16 remaining. Now they're going to wind it into play as far as the play clock is concerned. Going to bring up 2nd down and 2 yards to go.
Very efficient drive here for McGill after that penalty. Kind of gave them a bit of life. 3:16, they've been on the move. 3 passes back to back to back for the Yellow Jackets. Bobcat faithful kind of gotten quiet here, Corey. That ball is tipped, almost intercepted by Trey Pines off the tip drill. Couldn't bring it in. It'll take McGill to third down.
Yeah, McGill-Tulin trying to get it to the outside of the boundaries, trying to run those routes that will find a way to get them out of bounds. And Theodore is doing a good job keeping them in between the numbers, keeping them in the line of play to where if they make the catch, the only way the clock will stop is to spot them for a first down.
Big play right here, third and about 3, 4-down territory for McGill. They've got to get points. They give it to C.J. Evans up the middle. He goes. Look at him weaving, doing it. Saquon Barkley, Corey. He's like he's trying to take it to the house and brought down at about the 5-yard line. Big run by C.J. Evans.
That's the longest run of the night given up by this Bobcat defense. You can't get caught looking at the scoreboard if you're Theodore. McGill-Tulin is running quick tempo. Now going to bring up first and goal for the Yellow Jackets.
Big run by Evans puts the Yellow Jackets in prime position to score, to get some points on the board. Exactly 3 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Stoppage in play. I believe a timeout may have been called before that snap got off.
Timeout. Defense.
So Coach Collier burns the timeout, get his young men together. 2:56 right here remaining in the ball game. We'll take a look at the 4A state poll brought to you by Alabama Sports Writers Association right quick. We can get that poll up. UMS Wright still on top, 6-0 this season, defending state champion. As you can see, a lot of the local teams still at the bottom there, just getting votes, but outside of the top 10 poll. Andalusia, Hillcrest, Evergreen, Escambia County as well. So pretty much in command. UMS Wright, one of the top teams in the state in 4A, in command of 4A football. There's your Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 poll, 7868584. And Corey, next week we're going to Ladd Stadium as Theodore will take on Davidson. That's a big 7A Region 1 contest as well. Davidson pretty much trying to keep their playoff hopes alive and stay in the playoff hunt as the season almost comes to an end in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, you're at first and goal from the 5-yard line for the McGill-Tulin Yellow Jackets, the deepest that they've gotten in Bobcat territory all night long. They have an opportunity here to punch it in with 2:56 remaining.
Once again, there's a look at the Region 1 standings. A lot up for grabs tonight. Theodore, McGill, both undefeated. One of these teams will have a loss tonight. McGill trying to keep their region win streak intact, 30 games as it stands right now. And Theodore trying to stay undefeated and get a win out over McGill.
On first and goal, McGill-Tulin goes Wildcat to C.J. Evans. We saw them with that safety on their far end. A good snap that time by the center to C.J. He was able to gain 2 yards on the play. Going to bring up second down and goal to go now with the timeout being called.
So Ernest Hill and the crew, they're going to call timeout to discuss things here. 2:45 remaining. I'm pretty sure they want to score as quick as possible because they need to get the ball back, Corey, to try to score again.
Yeah, they have a wonderful kicker, so he can make the ball bounce. If they're able to score a touchdown here, you know that he's able, with being a left-hand kicker, Jack Martin has the ability to make that ball bounce very funny. But first things first, McGill-Tulin has to find a way to score here at the goal line as they're knocking at the door with 2:45 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
All right, don't forget Parents Monday, Parent Engagement Day. Stop by, pick up your kids' report card. Make sure you get engaged with the teachers as well all across the county. Parent and Family Engagement Day, Monday, October 15th. My kids, they attend O'Rourke, so they're having the book parade, Corey, and a big thing going on over there. So going to have to go by and check that out. So parents, invite you out to your Mobile County Public School for Parent and Family Engagement Day this Monday, October 15th. Don't forget Signature Showcase coming up Tuesday at the Mitchell Center as well. Second and goal here for McGill. Arsenault under the center as he brings Dallas Daffin close to the line. Fumble snap, Corey. That's a live ball.
And the Bobcats
have it. The first turnover at the ball game at 2:37. And coming out of there with that fumble, Mike Williams has over 50 tackles on the season. And Corey, he has made a play of the year right there for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Arsenault just pulled out a little too soon, and you just mentioned that the play earlier, C.J. Evans had gone into the Wildcat formation. Then they decided to bring Arsenault back in.
Right.
You look at the center, it was not a clean snap, and Arsenault never had the football. The ball was bouncing around, and Bobcats were able to jump on top of it, and that's going to pretty much do the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets in, because with only one timeout remaining, I do believe, the Yellow Jackets can only stop the clock one more time.
That makes Theodore +6 in the plus-minus category this season. That is their 5th fumble recovery of the year. And, Corey, I think your prediction of Pigskin Player of the Game, Seth Tillman, number 19 for Theodore, will probably have to come to fruition tonight. He's done a phenomenal job for the Bobcats in the kicking and punting realm. So is that who you probably want to go with for your Pigskin Player?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you look at him being able to change the game early by converting those field goals, and Coach Collier having the confidence to go to his specialist and make
McGill, the third and final charge timeout.
McGill calling timeout, so maybe things hold the way they are. Howard possibly can catch up with Seth Tillman as our Pigskin Player of the Game. Unbelievable. 1 turnover tonight, and it comes at the 2:37 mark of the 4th quarter. And, Corey, I was quite surprised that they brought Arsenault back in after running that Wildcat, and Arsenault was right directly under the center. He wasn't in a shotgun. He wasn't in a spread type situation. He was literally under the center, and they bobbled the snap there.
Yeah, it's a situation to where McGill-Tulane not only was knocking on the door, they were trying to kick it down and score those 6 points that would have been coveted, allowing them to have an opportunity to even try and attempt an onside kick.
Right.
And Theodore was able to capitalize, came away with the bouncing pigskin, and now they're in business just trying to run out this clock here at C.A. Douglas Field with 2:26 remaining. And you have to remember, they're on an 8-game losing streak to these Yellow Jackets team. No one else has been atop 7A Region 1 but McGill since 7A Region 1 was established.
That's correct. That's correct. That is huge. That is huge right there. So if I'm correct, we don't have a timeouts left function here at the scoreboard. So I believe Theodore has 1 timeout, and I believe McGill may have 1 timeout as well. Hand off to Haywood up the middle. He picks up a couple. Clock continues to tick here. 3rd down for the Bobcats as they look to the sideline. And we approach the 2-minute mark remaining here in the contest.
And again, Theodore is going to bleed every single second off of that play clock that they can before they run an offensive play.
Play clock under 5, 4, 3, 2. Underwood gets it off in the power I formation. They just give it to Haywood. And that play pretty much goes nowhere, so it'll be 4th down.
And it looks like if McGill does get the football, it will be with under 1 minute remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Play clock has not started yet. You're right about that, Corey. So when they mark this ready to play, referee Paul Brooks, they can let this run down, possibly even take a delay of game if they choose to.
And that's
or Coach Collier could burn his timeout with, say, 1 second left on the play clock if he wanted to.
You know, in this situation, I would take my timeout. No need to take a penalty and cost yourself yards.
I think that's what they're probably doing as they look to the sidelines here. And Coach Collier standing right next to the official, ready to, there's the signal right there. Great job by the crew. So with 49.7 seconds left, and we know McGill has to score twice to even get close to getting this game in the win category, Corey. Coach Collier and his crew talking to the kids here on the sidelines. Very, very, very good game tonight, Corey.
Yeah, outstanding job by both teams. But the Bobcats, again, I'm going to say this more than once for the remainder of the broadcast. To be the man, you have to beat the man.
That's right.
And exactly what Theodore decided to do tonight was beat the man. Anytime you can end a 30-game winning streak, especially 6 versus 9 in the state of Alabama in the 7A polls. It's a huge win for this program.
It is.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they sustain it now going into Thursday night's game at Ladd Stadium for our game of the week on Thursday night.
Yeah, don't want to have the letdown, the emotional letdown, because the region has not been decided just by victory tonight, by no means. But I would say, Corey, wise choice right there, Seth Tillman, your pigskin player of the game, number 19 for Theodore, if Howard's able to get him in. Also, if possible, if things go this way and Theodore comes out on top, I would wonder what happened with the switch of the kicker, because we've seen Marcos Lynn all year up until tonight, and he appears to be healthy on the sideline. So I wonder if that was a strategic move by the Bobcats. That punt looked like it was tipped at the line, Corey.
McGill Tulane was trying to bring the house and get
like
a block.
Right.
But now they're going to take over with 42.3 seconds remaining. You can look for them to take as many shots as they want to the end zone, because, again, running the football is not going to help any. You look at that replay, good job of Tillman picking it up off the ground and being able to get it off.
Yeah.
And just being able to get positive yards off of that punt.
So McGill Tulane sitting square inside the Bobcats territory, ball at the 36-yard line. So only 36 yards away from putting it to the end zone. Arsenault comes out, empty set. Jordan Mosley at the bottom of the screen. Daffin at the top. They know they have to get on the board. Arsenault trying to connect with Daffin, and he does. But Daffin stays in bounds, Corey, so the clock will move. The chains will move and stop the clock momentarily.
And you're going to spot the football. As soon as they spot the football, the clock will be ready for play. Big catch right there by the Yellow Jackets, and now under 30 seconds remaining, McGill's got to hurry up and have some type of sense of urgency. They can't sit and wait around.
The ball marked ready to play. They need to be striking toward the end zone quickly here. Arsenault needs to get this snap off. We're under 20 seconds, and they're telling him snap the ball, hike. And it's a high snap, Corey. This might be it for the Yellow Jackets, as Arsenault just throws that one away. 9.6 seconds remain here in the ball game.
Yeah, and almost 20 seconds elapsed on that play. Just probably not the type of execution that the offensive coordinator, Matt Scott, would like. And when Arsenault did call for the football, it was a high snap, and he was lucky to be out of the pocket and try to throw it away. 9.6 seconds remaining. This will probably be the last play of the game, because you can look for McGill Tulane to try to go deep into the end zone right here.
And pretty much the Bobcats are just going to lay back and play center field and knock it down, as they say on TV, knock it down. But that's an interception right there.
And he takes a knee behind it with 3 seconds remaining. So the Bobcat offense is going to have an opportunity to go out and take a knee.
Cam Brown on the interception there, Corey.
You know, that's one of our impact players.
That's right.
A young man who was selected for the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, just drops back into coverage and is able to intercept it, and then didn't try to return it, just knew to take a knee behind it. And now the Bobcat faithful are absolutely going bonkers.
Even the players on the sideline, everyone's going, wow. You have to think about it. They are breaking an 8-game losing streak, and Coach Eric Collier, he was winless against McGill, Corey, in 9 attempts through his entire coaching career. So this is a huge win for him as well. So all the Bobcats have to do right now is pretty much take the victory formation. And all the Bobcat faithful, some of the students heading down to the track there, Corey, they are super excited. This particular win right here will resonate across the entire state of Alabama.
It really will. I mean, you end a 30-game winning streak, and the Bobcat coaching staff said at the beginning of the game that this was unlike any type of preparation that they've had before, unlike any other game.
That's
and to be the man now, they beat the man.
So Coach Eric Collier not only gets the win tonight to end a 30-game region winning streak against McGill, but he ends his own personal 9-game losing streak against McGill. There's your final, 15-3. Probably one of the biggest knockoffs, biggest upsets in the state of Alabama tonight, Corey.
Yeah, 6 versus 9. You knew you were going to have a very competitive game, and I thought that the Theodore Bobcats did everything they needed to do in regards to running the football. They didn't really prevent penalties as far as my checklist was concerned, but number 2 on my list was be spectacular on special teams, and they really were that. I mean, you get that safety, and that changes the dynamic of the game, but to make the 2 field goals early to go up 6-3, and then the safety that made it 8-3, they were able to tag on that last touchdown. McGill Toolin's defense had been on the field too long, and the Theodore Bobcats were able to capitalize off of it.
Howard talked about that, the amount of plays that Theodore ran and had possession of the ball with, as opposed to McGill, and pretty much wore that defense out. We saw Theodore in the first half go a bit more in the air, maybe once or twice in that third quarter. But as we noticed as the third quarter developed, they became more run-heavy in ball possession and make the clock their friend, their ally.
Yeah, I thought Underwood did a good job of controlling this team and being a leader and making the throws when he needed to. And again, this defense that only gives up 5.5 points per game turns around tonight and only gives up 3. So that's going to continue to lower that average. And congratulations to Ham Barnett, the defensive coordinator for the Theodore Bobcats. And Eric Collier, again, you mentioned it, getting his first win ever against the McGill Tulane Yellow Jackets. And that's just huge for this Bobcat program, this Bobcat community. And when you look at the standings at the end of the night, you will have a new region leader, something that this McGill Tulane fans definitely aren't used to and the players aren't used to, but I guarantee there's a lot of football left to be played in this region.
I'm sure Howard is down on the field trying to catch up with Coach Eric Collier. The Bobcat faithful, the student body section pretty much storming the field right now as they're in celebration with their Theodore Bobcats on top of 7A Region 1 down here. They are 6-0 in the region, Corey. This is a huge win for Theodore.
Yeah, they lost the first game of the year to the Daphne Trojans due to a special teams meltdown, and Coach Collier has been preaching. He's not worried what McGill Tulane's record was, how many games in a row McGill Tulane had won. He was worried about his Theodore Bobcat team and what they had to do to improve. And he felt like this was a special group of young men. He mentioned that to us in the media days at the beginning of the year. But now the balance that this team has with them being able to throw the ball as well as run the ball effectively, this makes this a very dangerous Bobcat team.
The last time Theodore won 6 games in a row was in 2000. That was their first ever 10-win season, Corey. So a lot of magical things happening down here in Bobcat country. I know Howard McCain is down on the field efforting to get Coach Eric Collier. I believe he has him right now. So let's take it down to the field. Howard McCain with winning head coach Eric Collier.
Thanks, guys. On the field with the winning coach of a huge, huge game tonight, Coach Collier. Now, Coach, just as we were walking up, I told you that McGill Tulane was on a 30-game Class 7A Region 1 win streak. That win streak started with you guys. Coach, what does it mean to snap that win streak against them tonight?
Well, you know, they're a great program. And to line up and beat that program, we feel really proud. I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of our community, our school. It's just a huge win for our program. It really is. I'm glad to see our fans got out. We had a great crowd tonight. Kids played hard, played well. We played composed. I can't be prouder.
Yeah, a really big win, Coach. You know, the season is not over. There's still a whole lot of football left to be played. So going into practice on Monday, what do you do? What do you tell your guys to be able to get those guys to put things in perspective, because there's still a lot of football left to be played?
Well, you know, honestly, the thing we teach them every day is we just going to worry about us getting better. We're gonna go back in there Sunday and watch the film with the kids, and we're gonna talk to them about, hey, you know, you got to get a little bit better here, and you did a great job on this play.
Right.
But look at this right here. And honestly, that's our mindset is we want to take care of the Bobcats. We don't worry about the other opponent.
Right.
We don't get hung up in whatever they're doing. We just worry about us.
Exactly. Now, you told me that one of your pregame rituals, Coach, is that you like to go into your office with one of your assistant coaches, and you guys like to pray before the games. Now, was it prayer answered tonight for you, Coach?
Well, first I'm going to say to God be the glory. And it was answered. You know, David Bullock goes in with me every Friday night, and we say a prayer, number one. And he's first in our life. And just to God be the glory.
Coach, congratulations on the big win. Listen, we're going to get a chance to talk to one of the heroes of the game. You know that guy right there, right? Yeah. That's your kicker. Come on in here. Here also with Seth Tillman. Seth, you are the pigskin player of the game tonight. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Seth Tillman, you are a pigskin player of the game. Early on, you had 2 field goals that really gave your team an opportunity to play with a lead. You kicked with ice water in your veins tonight. What did you see out there tonight?
I just went out and did what I was taught to do at practice every day. Went out, took a deep breath, did my steps, and it went through.
Now, you kicked 2 field goals, 1 for 15, 1 for 25. What did Coach say to you when you kick big field goals like that? What do they tell you on the sidelines afterwards?
They told me to take a deep breath for every kick and just do what I'm supposed to do.
Seth, is your mom here?
Yes, sir.
Do you see her?
Yes, sir. Up there.
Up
right
there.
in front of the press box.
Are they waving?
Yes, sir.
That's them right there. Give them a big thumbs up for me. Congratulations, Seth. Seth is our pigskin player of the game. Great job, Seth. All right, thanks, guys. Back to you.
Hey, great job tonight, Howard, for filling in for us. Did an awesome job. You could see the emotion on Coach Eric Collier's face, Corey.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hit them in the locker room. They're going to celebrate like
Oh, yeah.
any other, and you're going to enjoy that for 24 hours. He'll let the coaches come back in on Sunday. They'll reevaluate, look into film, getting ready for a short week for Davidson. So I look forward to seeing how the Bobcats bounce back on Thursday night.
As a matter of fact, we will see them next week at Ladd Stadium. That's our MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, Theodore and Davidson. Don't forget, we go live at 6:55. For Corley Bounty, Howard McCain, the entire MCPSS TV crew, and our executive producer, Quentin Howard, I'm Al Wheaton, thanking you for joining us tonight. Big win. Theodore gets it 15-3. That's going to wrap it up. You have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next Thursday at Ladd Stadium.